As I suspected, 32 flavors.
Try the sauce. I'm soaked in it.
Oh, I could lick you all day long.
That's my opinion!
How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Toxic Tuesday, episode 37. I'm 37? Yeah, apparently I'm 37, guys. 37. Well, I guess that's just sometimes how the cookie crumbles. So, as many of you infamously know, last week there was a very lovely discussion on Yelling at Parked Cars about a certain flick I had never seen in my life, and everyone was just like, "Rah!" Like it was crazy, man. It was just like, wow, so this is what Pitchforks is like. Okay, cool. Cowabung it is, but I you know, they're like, you haven't seen Spaceballs. So after watching it, not once, but twice, I totally get it, man. I totally get it. So that's what we're talking tonight. And of course, we got all of our usual suspects, and we got a few returns to the Toxic Tuesday well. So I want to introduce some people in the chat first before we bring on the panelists. Vince Womack, how you doing? Dragon Master 360, happy birthday to you, sir. What's up, man? Disease, how you doing? GAP Stargate, what's up? What's up? Pulp Metallicus the first. This Thursday afternoon, me, Pulp Metallicus, and that 70s rock fan will be talking the new album from Saxon, Carpe Diem, on Pulp's channel. So you should check that out and sub to that boy. All right. And then Dr. Dragon, D Bud Martin, how's it going? Boosh McFadden, what's up? Hi, Tina. How you doing? Siege Perilous, hail to you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Rob Altis, Anonymous, Jeffrey. What's up, Jeff? How you doing, man? Nice to see you here. All right. We're going to bring in the boys here, and I'm just going to come at them. X going to give it to you style real quick. What's up, 70s?
Oh, hey, you didn't expect to be first. Well, hey, I'm good. How are you, sir?
I'm good, man. Glad to have you back on here. This is gonna be an exciting movie to talk about.
Oh,
and you and I get to duel twice this week between this and the new Saxon album.
Oh, I'm looking forward to talking about that. It rocks hard.
Yes,
it's
it
great.
does.
It's a great album.
Yes. So
I'm looking forward to that.
We won't go too far in that rabbit hole. Once again, folks, subscribe to Pulp Metallicus. We'll be talking that. Now we're gonna keep it coming quick. Introducing Imperatus.
What's going on, Nick? Hail to the chat. 70s. Pleasure being on a panel with you again.
You too, buddy.
We seem to keep bumping into each other like this.
We do. People will talk.
Yeah, well, a Norseman and a Scotsman. That's a hell of a pairing.
That's right. We could go rampaging and pillaging. We can rape the cattle and pillage the women.
Yeah, something like that, sure. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. As I said backstage, Mel Brooks is one of my favorite comedic directors. I got plenty of stories to tell and memories of my experiences with his movies.
All right, killer. I look forward to talking about it. And before bringing the next I see Deleted Scenes. How you doing, Deleted Scenes? And I see the Jack of all casual says, tired as fuck, but I'm not missing Spaceballs with you guys. Hail Nickweiser and hail to the Jack of all casuals for sticking it out, my man. Let's bring in Yeti Cast. What's up, Yeti?
Fuck off, Gary. Sorry. That's just a reflex. I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
The pleasure is mine in so many more ways than one. You know that, right? The pleasure is mine.
He knows you can have pleasure.
Oh, yeah. I know. Because you're not a giver. You don't make sure I get my pleasure. It's a big deal. I want to talk to you about it backstage, but like, come on, you got to give back a little.
Hey, we'll have a private chat about that. We'll see. All right. Anyways, we're gonna bring on the other human beings, Mr. Tom from Midnight's Edge, After Dark, and Radio, and in the morning. How you doing, sir?
We ain't found shit.
Hey, that's a nice shirt you got on there. That's a
Spaceballs the t-shirt.
It used to just say balls, but
what I love is the soundtrack.
sharpied in space in front of it.
The soundtrack even says Spaceballs, the soundtrack on it.
That is hilarious. Oh, man. Oh, perfect. Well, Tom, glad you can join us once more. I am ready to talk some Spaceballs. Bring in the next boy here. One of the men who keeps the visuals alive. A man who has Toxic Tuesday privilege. Also returning from Italy. Mr. Mark D with a C.
Hey, thank you. Great to be here. You actually never saw Spaceballs? That's inconceivable. Wow, I mean, God.
Inconceivable.
I missed that yelling at parked cars, but man, well, you were in for a treat, I guess, right? So we'll talk about it, but I'm sure you liked it. So, sorry, Nick, I didn't bring you back any pizza. They confiscated at Custom. So, with all the cheese and sausage and stuff. But yeah, the food is good in Italy. So I'll be doing some shows on my channel about that.
All right, cool. And hey, Mark, glad you're back with us. This is your triumphant return. We missed you, but that's the thing we always do. So glad you could be back with us, sir.
Thank you.
All right, and then next, the man who is now back to his roots, the Wake Down.
Hello. How's everybody doing tonight?
Hey, buddy.
Ready to fucking rage.
Hell yeah. I've gone plaid.
He's gone plaid, guys. Have you heard that? He's gone plaid. Well, dude, glad you could be back with us. Let's fucking rock and roll this shit. Dustin!
What's happening, everybody?
Hey, dude.
Glad you could be here, sir.
I'm glad I could be here too, man. It's going to be fucking awesome.
All right, good. Let's fucking roll Gary of the pop culture minefield.
Oh my God, it's that guy. Yeah.
It is. It's you.
Yeti had
it's
something
you.
to say.
Yeah. Oh, I heard him. Fuck you too, Yeti. I was mimicking him backstage, like, "Fuck you. My name's Yeti."
That's Yeti's idea of foreplay.
And I already came.
Pleasure me, Nick.
Oh, you sons of. Pulp Metallicus for $5 says Spaceballs the super chat. Nice one, Pulp, and thank you for the $5. Appreciate that. Soul Assassin, how you doing? Matt 317. Hello. Well, guys, and Cavatino Cavalry Shay says heard Ripa say some bullshit. I don't know what that bullshit is, but I look forward to saying it because I love Eric July. So hail Eric July. Thank you for coming in here, by the way.
Cavatino anymore. It's good to see him.
Yeah. Thank you for coming in here, dude. All right, guys. So this movie obviously was a movie that was based off a parody of a certain George Lucas franchise. Anyone heard of it? Anyone? Bueller, Star Wars?
Howard the Duck?
Star Trek?
Star Trek. Oh, yeah, Star Trek. Yeah.
Wizard of Oz?
What?
Alien.
Yeah.
Was it
Alien?
Junk
Oh,
Wars?
it was Aliens,
Junk Wars? The movie Junk
What?
Wars?
It was Willow, wasn't it?
Space
Titanic.
Cowboys. It's a parody of Space Cowboys.
Oh, hey. It's
Oh,
Rick
Enemy
Moranis.
Mine. That's it. Enemy Mine.
Dude, no. So for me being a normie going into this flick as my first time ever in 2022, this is like perfect humor for me because this movie really emphasizes on dad jokes, and me being a dad, of course I'm gonna be all like, bro, these are the best jokes ever, and then rewatching it again and then again, I fucking love it. It's so like on the nose and like shameless about being a parody film, and like the characters are just so ridiculous, and I'm like, why don't we have more movies like this where they parody off of, like, we're in the golden age now where we can parody off of something that's, whether it's woke or PC, like this is the perfect time to make a parody off one of these. Like if there was a something that made fun of like Kennedy era Star Wars that as a parody, I would watch check the shit out of that.
That's a parody of a parody, then.
You just got to be sure to punch up, okay? Punch up, Nick.
It's double secret parody.
See, in my mind, this movie replaced The Last Jedi. Like this was the follow-up film, which makes that whole thing perfect.
I love this model. Not only, I think the joke isn't only the length of it, it's the totally unnecessary stuff plastered all over it. Like, what is all that shit for, you know?
It's
But it
not
looks
just the
great.
length, it's the girth. You're
That's
correct.
right. And the knobbly bits.
The knobbly bits. Nah, I remember like it's just so crazy. Like, and it's such a short flick too. It's only an hour and a
It
half.
felt like it was about 15 minutes long when I watched
it felt like you were watching a really funny comedy skit, and then all of a sudden it's just like, boom, you're done. Like, bro, what? Bro, more please. Come on. You just basically you gave me a really delicious sample. What gives, man? You gave me the chicken fingers, but where's the? I'm gonna need some sauce with that too, man. Oh, that we break for nobody.
Well, yeah, and then the ship is like 3 miles long too, right? You know, then you get the gag as you're watching it. You know,
but how about
the
our
ship
boy,
never ends? Yeah,
Colonel Sanders.
Yeah.
I know. And they
Colonel
do make
Sanders
the
and the
chicken
assholes.
Yeah. That's right. I'm surrounded by assholes.
So are we going to start without acknowledging Nick's giant deep V with all the hair coming out? Like that nobody's going to say anything about that?
Dude, it's just unbuttoned. It's just unbuttoned.
That's a rug.
Yeah, I am the rug. I am the rug. No,
Wasn't
Yeti.
Rick Moranis is such a great piece of casting, though. I mean, I can't picture anybody else doing that role than him.
He it's like he embodied the dark helmet. I love how ridiculous he is. Like, especially like he's constantly flipping up and down with the helmet, and he's supposed to be this intimidating villain, but of course he's not. And the name, like, Dark Helmet.
And there's Ty.
Oh my god!
You know, something that people might not catch is a lot of the names don't just aren't just parodies, but there's callbacks to like other sci-fi. Like when they said Colonel Sanders, and they talk about Rico from Starship
Rico
Troopers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, Rico. Oh god, yeah. It's been a while since I've seen the Troopers.
Well, the movie came out after this, but the book was out in the 50s. It was like 54,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, the book is absolute classic.
I have it on Audible. It's pretty good.
Ooh.
I did a very good video about it.
Oh, dude.
Just plugging myself.
Oh, hey, you know, and I love this where every dude just wants to cover up their balls just because.
It's not clear exactly what he did to them, other than firing a green ray at them.
I always thought like that was like him, like instead of like force choking, it was force grabbing.
Oh, right,
That's
I
what
get it.
I interpret it as. I mean, maybe
Choking the chicken.
Tom or Gary or someone can correct me, but that's what I got out of it.
Yeah,
I mean,
choking
what if
the
it's
chicken.
like the Orgasmatron or whatever from Orgasmo?
Now you're a man.
These days, you have to spend a lot of money to have someone squeeze your balls like that.
Well, this
You know,
predated Orgasmo
friends
by
with
what,
Nick.
11 years?
There's still people who'll do it for free. Yeah, there's still a lot of people who do it for free.
We got the Mr. Coffee machine here.
Oh,
You'd
yeah.
be surprised
The
what he gets for a
orgasm-
slice of pizza.
The Orgasmatron actually made its first appearance in Woody Allen film of the 70s. I can't remember the name.
Yeah,
of it.
Sleepers.
Sleepers. That's it. Yeah.
Or Sleeper.
Sleeper.
And
Sleeper,
then
yeah.
there's Mr. Radar. Then there's Mr. Radar.
Mr. Coffee. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just packed full of those little incidental.
I love it when they
jokes
break
here
the
and
fourth
there.
wall in this film,
Oh, right.
where he stops and turns and talks to the audience.
Yeah. There's so many little jokes that you could miss them very quickly if you don't pay attention.
Oh my god! Yeah, when he spits and the mask closes before he spits.
Oh,
Why
it
does,
spits the coffee.
why does Druidia look like medieval Europe? That's
Hold on, but there's bingo. It's not about the wedding. It's about the bingo. Oh, I love it. The bingo's so good. Oh, and there's the Princess Vespa. And Dustin sent me a funny thing earlier. connected to what's his face from Luca?
Yeah, well, they called him Senor Vespa.
Senor Vespa.
Yeah, but his name was can't remember. I can't remember off the top of my head
But
what his actual
he was
name
called
was.
that because of the bike.
Yeah, because he rode a
scooter.
Vespa. And they wanted a
Yeah.
Vespa real bad.
Yeah, I'm just back from Italy. Everyone was riding a scooter or a Vespa or some kind of.
Hey, I meant to
motorcycle
ask you,
there.
Mark. Have you learned to use your hands more when you talk now that you've been to Italy?
Yeah, well, the good thing is my mom's side's Italian, so I already had the practice. So
okay, good.
But of course, I tried a few words. You get in the car with the driver or someone like, "Oh, American accent." You're like, "Damn!" Like I said, like hello or something. They get your accent in like 2 seconds. But everyone was really friendly there. Yep.
Estirora, escuch.
There's a lot of people say prego all the time.
Prego. But you can't order a cappuccino in the afternoon. I found out that's something that's frowned upon.
Not prego.
Yeah, not prego. Yeah, coffee's in the morning.
Grazie.
Yep.
And they say,
But great
prego,
people,
prego.
great time. Yep. So we're getting to Pizza the Hut eventually. Yeah. So.
Oh, dude. But Pizza the Hut, what a fucking grotesque, nasty, hilarious looking creature. Like that thing is so hideous. But I could see why the silver dude tasted him because
he's like, "Oh, you taste good." Yeah.
he's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, this is so nasty, but so freaking funny.
Yeah, and if you watch closer, like the pizza gets all over his hat and stuff. And...
Yeah, no, I saw that on the tip of the front of the hat. I saw that. I'm like, are you kidding me? It's so nasty.
And then you got
the cheese oozing off his head too.
Oh, here it comes.
Well, now I'm hungry.
Well, yeah, you should be. You should be hungry for oozing pizza, Yeti.
I
What the
heart
hell?
Uranus.
You can never have enough cheese. So.
I heart your anus. I'm just
Shepard.
It's going to be one of
Really,
those
Shepard?
nights, eh?
You're going to probe Uranus, Shepard?
Hey,
That's a
when
Mass
we
Effect
love.
joke.
Speaking of loving anuses.
I love Mog. He's his own best friend.
For $10 says Dark Helmet is my fave. LOL. Thank you, Islington girl. For the yes. How could you not like Dark Helmet? See, I may have to say though, I may lean a little bit on yogurt, but we'll get into yogurt later. Because the on the nose references with yogurt. Lone Star. I laugh because I'm like, now is he obviously supposed to homage Han Solo, but also he looks like Indiana Jones.
And there's indie references in the movie. There is indie references. Yeah.
And when I'm watching, I'm like, man, I feel like I've seen this guy in a movie. And then I looked him up. I'm like, oh, he was in Independence Day. I laughed so hard.
I think John Candy must have been happy they didn't go for the full Wookiee parody. They've just gone for a little bit of fluff and hair here and there, a tail.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, Soul Assassin, no, just no. Maybe 1999 when they had the big New Yorker, but
so is it too soon to speculate why they didn't go for a Luke Skywalker character? Like they've ignored Luke.
Ooh,
maybe
there's
a bit of Luke. There's a bit of Luke.
He's kind of a mix of Luke and Han.
Yeah, because he's got the Schwartz.
The Schwartz.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well,
they predicted Kathleen Kennedy wanted to get rid of Luke.
That's right. Yeah. It's funny they didn't make this till 1987 as well. It's quite a bit later than you would think it would have come out.
Yeah, I thought it came out like 84. But I mean, yeah, it came out the day before my birthday on 87.
87, yeah. I mean, you would think it would have been 84, would have been more appropriate following the original trilogy, but yeah. I guess he just couldn't get around to it before then.
Took a while to get the rights, maybe. No.
Well, there must
one
have
of the
been
deals was he couldn't have any merchandise, which is the funny line, but he was not allowed to create any merchandising for Spaceballs.
Taking the piss out of the merchandising is
look, there is right at the tip of the hat, right there. You're delicious.
Something perverted about that scene.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's on the hat.
It's so nasty. I love it. Honestly, I'm not grossed out. When it's pizza, I'm just like, okay, I want. Tell me more. Tell me more.
This is actually a neat little science fiction moment, having this great thing opening to allow access into the ear of the planet, the atmosphere of the planet.
Mm-hmm. Well, how about Dot the Matrix? I mean, how about her?
Matrix.
Yeah, but Nick,
sorry,
you
Dot
get, you're
Matrix,
young. Do you
sorry.
get that joke? Does the youngins out there that know what a dot matrix printer is and how we suffered with
It
dot
was relevant at the
printers?
time.
Yeah, so
I
like,
actually could not tell you, so educate me, Mark.
so the first printers were actually there was a mechanical print head with picture dots on it, and it would it would actually imprint dots, and it was really slow, so it would go like almost like a typewriter. And the very first printer I had actually, like, it was so cheap from Radio Shack and they have technology that the G didn't go below the line, so you'd have your papers. So it was actually like a mechanical head with dots, and you had a ribbon that went through, and your ribbon would run out. 70s, I know, you're old.
Yeah, I used to have to work on those bastards. Yeah,
yeah, so it's all
Still,
mechanical.
If you knew how to program in PCL or whatever that language was, you could actually do some really interesting drawings.
Yeah, I have a few of those left over. Yeah, we're not going to show those now. But
here's the star.
Now, doesn't he look just the same as the governor in Blazing Saddles? I'm pretty sure it's the same suit.
Same suit, yeah. Perrier, yeah.
Hey,
yeah,
so that's like can Gary Ambrosia had, Tom, from when he was showing that on me, the Perrier. That was hilarious that Gary had one of those cans. That was awesome.
This girl's funny. This woman's really funny.
Yeah.
It's snotty.
Who's the actress? I forget who that was.
I can't remember the actress, but she's snotty. What did you beamed me twice last night?
Yeah, snotty instead of Scotty. Yeah.
Beamed me. And they make that great Loch Lomond joke. Loch 1, Loch 2, Loch 3, Loch Lomond. Only a Scotsman would get that.
I wouldn't know about the Scots. I wouldn't know.
No, I think everybody got it. Only a Scotsman would laugh at it, though.
Yeah, exactly. Who is that? Oh yeah, I didn't realize. I'd forgotten Joan Rivers did the voice of Dot Matrix.
Imagine saying your ass.
They even made Dot Matrix look like her, even though she's not in the suit.
He's not in the suit.
Yeah.
No.
Imagine seeing your ass in front of you. Your own ass in front of you. So like, it's on backwards. Now I know why it was like so long, like why it sticks out.
Yeah, when no one told me my ass was so big, right?
But they've got a great point about the mentioned Star Trek. That's why does the transporter work? I mean, it could easily go wrong.
Yeah, it does once in a while, right?
It does once in a while. That's true. Yeah.
But that's like the theory, like that it's actually not you. It's like you're basically being recreated every time you go.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you were murdered when you step on there,
what I
and
believe.
you have a clone come out the other side.
It's like that movie Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale made.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like you're a complete new person with all the same memories.
Yeah,
and
the
the other version of you is dead.
I just watched that again recently. It's a really good movie.
And then he goes in the old-fashioned way. I love this salute.
Yeah, on that scene too. He's like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna walk." It's in the next room.
And then the little wave.
And we're not see. This is something youngins won't get either. That's the Doublemint twins. There's a commercial growing up.
That's right.
The Doublemint twins, and they sold
knew who they were.
Gum. All right. Sorry,
Chew
not
your
to
gum. Okay.
throw you under the bus, but that was like there's all these references that if you watch
a very timeline specific reference,
Yeah, and I think they mentioned that too. So. And the Apogee did the special effects for this, which is a game company. They did Duke Nukem and a bunch of other video games. So I was watching the credits. So it's that, and ILM did some of the stuff.
She does not look Druish.
Well, we find out why later, though. She had surgery.
The nose job. Yeah.
I don't have to put up with this. I'm rich.
I've never watched Melrose Place, but seemingly she was in Melrose Place.
Oh yeah,
I had the biggest crush on her in the 80s, dude.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch the Sure Thing, Gary?
Fuck yeah.
That's one of my all-time favorite
Daphne
movies.
Zuniga was the shit.
Right. Yeah, I love that. Yeah. That movie's so awesome. Yeah. Well, maybe
Major asshole.
Who is he? An asshole?
This is probably my favorite joke in the whole movie.
Yeah, it is great. It's great. I'm surrounded by assholes.
Major asshole.
He's an asshole too.
He's an asshole too.
I know it. I'm
sir.
surrounded by assholes.
Yours, mate.
Philip asshole.
I love how
Philip
they all
asshole.
just stand up and line up right there.
That must have been fun filming that.
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes. Get fired.
I like how she runs away, but the first time there's trouble, she phones Daddy.
I know, right? Lone Star, you got God. You got
Good old Dick Van Patten,
anything.
man.
Yeah, from 8 is enough, right? Yeah, so that's another old time show with great. It was one of those staples.
Mark Hamill was on it early on.
No, he was. Yeah, as one of the guest stars. Yep.
Yeah.
God,
Anything?
Who's that? Who did that?
That was me. Anything?
Anything? Yeah. That was a good John Candy, actually, as Barf. What a name, Barf.
He's a Mog. It's half man, half dog, and once again, he's his own best friend.
And I get it because it's the opposite. It's the opposite of chewing. You barf it. So
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that was what was so funny earlier when he's in the cockpit and Bill Pullman's like going barf, and he's doing the gesture with it like he looks sick. Barf.
Yeah.
Oh, what a. Oh, and this is where everything starts to take the turn, where he kidnaps the princess, or does he save her? Big old magnetic beam. Womp womp womp. God, it's so weird. Like, especially since I saw Independence Day for the jam.
Sorry, that's such a
we have
Mel
a
Brooks,
jam.
such a Mel Brooks joke.
Jam.
Yeah, the jam joke. Jesus.
Seriously though,
It's a dad joke.
With Lone Star's character, I couldn't help but think about his speech in Independence Day. I'm just like, dude. And so obviously it's only because I said Independence Day first, so that's what's put in my head is you're the guy who gave the speech about fighting aliens. I see you doing this. It's like I totally see it the other way around, which I'm sure for some people who saw Spaceballs first, like, dude, why are you doing a speech? You're freaking Lone Star. Like, oh,
this is where Winslow gets to do his shtick.
That's right, Michael Winslow.
Oh, he is hilarious.
He didn't have the career he deserved, though.
I know.
Got his start on that show on NBC where they would show people with amazing talents or abilities.
Mm-hmm.
And God, he was like captivating the first time he was on TV.
But was it raspberry or was it strawberry, guys? That's the part we need to have. That we need to have this tough conversation right now about the raspberry. This is really
boysenberry.
tough. I'm missing beeps, the creeps, and the blips. That's not the only thing he's missing.
I paused it. It looks like strawberry.
Yeah,
I think it was strawberry. Yep.
Well, don't they mention strawberry later on in the movie?
It looked more like tomato to me, but it looks.
Look
No,
at
they
it.
are, but when they throw it at the jar, the radar antenna, it looked
Only
like
Lone Star would give him the
tomato sauce.
raspberry. What's up, Brian Yoder? Yeah, there it is. He's like, he gets a taste of his face, his reaction. He gets that. Oh my god, so good, so freaking good.
I think it's strawberry yogurt later, so it's raspberry jam.
Yeah, there you go. See, Matt here coming in hot. I hate yogurt, especially with strawberries. Yeah,
doesn't he taste it here?
I don't like
taste it here. Yeah, he tastes it here.
No,
He
well, he
does.
tasted
He did
the
taste it.
jam.
He
He
did
tasted
taste
the
it
jam
as raspberry.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah, he tasted the jam first because. RC from the NYC for $10 says, "What's up, Nick? What's up, panel? What's up, Chip? Hope all is well. And always remember, it's just plain yogurt." Ah, RC, thank you for that comment. That was hilarious. And thank you for $10. Yes, it is just plain yogurt. What was that? That was timed out wall. I hear someone. Bling.
Man, the plaid joke, like the plaid and the ludicrous, that's what I love about Tesla. Because the Model S, they had the ludicrous mode, and then they released a whole new car that's a model plaid. And it goes like 1 point. It goes 60 and 1.9.
Okay, I need someone to correct me here on it. It says Bush says here it says strawberry on the jar. Dark Helmet says raspberry jam. Continuity fail or Dark Helmet is it? You guys tell me. You guys are.
I think it was more they wanted to do the raspberry joke, and they probably did the special effect
later
at an off time, like they weren't paying attention. Because for those who don't know, only one person would dare give me the raspberry. Well, for those, that's a raspberry, right? Like that's the whole point of the joke. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's for the youngsters.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Go ahead, I know Tom. You mentioned an effects company that works on this. Did you guys mention that ILM worked on this as well?
I don't
know. You mentioned Apogee.
Yeah, Apogee and ILM. Yeah, but Apogee I think did most of it. But
yeah, there's one bit that's kind of funny. I'll bring. Did you get a picture of that later on in the movie?
Hopefully I did.
The cameo. I got a picture of it. If you didn't, so
okay, yeah. We'll see if I got it. Yep.
I think you know what I'm talking about.
Come on, get to the photo, Tom. Get to it.
It's like way near the end of the movie.
Okay. Cool.
But let's just say there's a cameo from a very well-known Star Wars icon.
Oh,
parked somewhere.
And it's the real thing. Yes.
Yeah.
And I didn't notice that. Holy crap! Now you got me all colored curious.
You should have. It kind of sticks out like a sore thumb, but yeah.
Oh my god, what?
It's quite a bit.
And you watched it twice.
And I watched it twice.
Well, I just found something curious on Cheat Sheet. It says, although he prevented Brooks from merchandising the film, George Lucas embraced Spaceballs fully.
You loved it,
Quote,
yeah.
His company, ILM, did all of the space effects and post-production for the film. So I wasn't aware of that.
There's even apparently a unused clip from A New Hope in the movie. The escape pod launch sequence apparently is actually.
Oh, it was an unused sequence.
Yeah, according to the same. Yeah. I didn't know that. I was just reading.
Yeah, it's like the same footage or whatever. Basically, is.
But why would I mean? There's like there's some like overlapping similarities, but no one's going to confuse this movie for Star Wars.
Yeah, no,
hell no.
Oh God, no!
Watch somebody be in the chat that goes, "Is this Star Wars
merchandising thing?
Is this Star Wars?"
Well, the merchandising thing was with George Lucas was a very. I think he also told him he couldn't make any sequels at the time either. But the merchandising thing went out the window, I think, with the Disney sale and all that stuff. Because all of a sudden, the last couple of years, things like this have popped up. And this is official. This is a licensed T-shirt. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, because Lucas, they could have, sued or made it difficult for him. But he's always supported fan films and people making.
He loves parodies and shit. Yeah,
he loves that stuff, and because they sponsored that.
Yeah,
fan
he
film
loves
competition.
Robot Chicken and Family Guy's parodies.
Well, he actually used to do a fan film contest every year.
Yep.
And he used to make sound effects and other things available to fans and music and everything.
It's I think one of the things that triggered it was the Stormtrooper Cops parody.
That was one of them. That was I think that's the one that did the.
Because when he saw the quality of the production, he's like, I've got to do something with this and give the fans a voice, a place where they can go.
Well, and a lot of those
such
guys
a good
end up
video
working for Lucasfilm. That's the thing.
All right. Oh yeah.
Do you see it now, Nick?
I'm looking here. Let's see, Galaxy.
It's very visible.
Think of a bird that flies.
The Millennium. Hold on.
I was gonna say all the other ones are like.
Yes, I see it. Yeah. How I see? I wasn't looking for that when I was watching. I was just trying to think of the comment. Yeah, I see the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
Isn't there a fighter jet beside it?
There's a fighter jet, and then the rest of them are like Winnebagos and trucks and all that kind of shit. Yeah.
Roswell looking UFO.
Wouldn't that be a great model?
There's the Roswell UFO. Yeah. Actually, I think that's from War of the Worlds, or not War of the Worlds, but
like
one
a
of those
cool coffee table, like display
would-
piece.
I
Oh,
just
the
like the Route
saucers.
76. See, that's what
Invasion of
stuck
the
out
Saucer,
first.
whatever that movie is called, from the 50s.
Well, there's something that looks like a Thunderbirds.
There it
looks
is,
like
plaid.
Thunderbird,
Next
though,
to the
yeah.
Winnebago looks almost Thunderbirds birds like that.
Yeah, it does. It.
Except it was with the shuttle doors open on Thunderbird 1 or whatever it is, or 2.
Might be.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
see
although
why
it's
you
not the right
guys
color. It's not the right color.
are saying I should have caught the Falcon, but sorry, my eyes. For
Went
me,
right to the 76.
They went to 76. Maybe if I watched it a third or fourth time, I would start to be like, okay, now look for the weird, weirder things there that I may have missed the first 2 times. You always try to look for things you miss, like with the second, third, and fourth viewings.
What's even better yet? Let me see if I can zoom in here.
Please.
You see two people standing there?
Oh yeah.
What do you think that is?
Oh.
Who would be in the Millennium Falcon?
Han and Chewie. yes.
Or is
Ray.
it Lando
Ray,
and
right?
his robot
Ray. Ray.
Just on that point, though, is it just me, or did nobody in this movie bother with spacesuits when they were out in space?
Oh, hell
I'm not
no,
the
that
only
doesn't
one. Look, I'm not the only one. Never noticed the Falcon.
You never
until
seen it?
now.
Oh wow.
Well, okay,
I never firstly noticed it either.
Well, think about like the low def quality that when when
That's
you watch this a
true,
million
yeah.
times.
On VHS, yeah.
Yeah, VHS or
That's
on
true.
TV.
And how long does it stay up on screen?
It's on
Maybe-
screen actually for a little while. Like it's a pretty long shot because you actually get on the shot. You actually see the 2 little guys down here walking into the diner, which are supposed to be Lone Star and Barf, but they're clearly little animated guys. They just walk in, and then these guys over here are just kind of talking to each other and stuff. But yeah, it lingers for like a good 10, 15, 20 seconds or better. It does kind of zoom in, I think, maybe, so you might lose it after a bit in the cropped off versions of it. But but actually, I think this was open 35, so I don't think it would have cropped it off on video.
Well, we all learned something new today, guys. The
Thank you,
Falcon.
Tom.
We got all thanks to Tom, and it looks like a lot of people in the chat too were all like, "Hey, I didn't notice that." So, all right,
That's one of the things I'm excited for. Like one of the things that I'm super glad, like the death of Pan and Scan.
Yeah,
Oh,
Pan and
God,
Scan,
yeah, I
oh,
hated
the
that.
horror. The
All
horror
right.
that was that, yeah.
Because once you noticed it, like I remember I got one of my VHS that had the black bars, and I was mad about it until I understood what they were, and then I went back and tried to watch other movies that weren't. They were in the 4:3 format, and you could see it. It was so clear as day, and it was like, I cannot handle it. So when widescreens became a thing, I was stoked.
Oh, I hated especially scope films where they're in the 235 aspect where they're really wide.
Yeah.
And then you go back to try and watch something on TV and it's crap. But yeah, it's on there for like 8 seconds. I just counted it. I just watched the clip in the background. That might be the ship from Lost in Space. I'm not 100% sure. Like it's
Wait,
really
looks a
kind of
little
hard
bit
to
like
tell
it.
some of them.
No.
Yeah.
What, the saucer? No, it is not.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's just the
it
top
does have
part.
a kind of
Yeah, not
a
the bottom.
Romulan feel.
See, that looks like
Especially
something
the
from some
front.
1950s sci-fi movie, but I'm not sure what.
Which one are you talking about, Tom?
I think they're talking about the one over here.
Yeah,
That
it's
one,
not the Jupiter.
That's a
Yeah.
starfighter. It's from the 50s, an actual fighter jet.
yeah.
The Falcon. There's another Winnebago type. There's a shuttle, space shuttle, U.S. space shuttle.
This almost looks like the RV from Stripes, but it's got a front end deal here that's different. But yeah, and then there's like 2 more RVs. This is like a double whammy here.
But the thing they're on kind of has a little bit of that Romulan feel.
Yeah, but this
Oh
this
wait,
whole
no,
thing,
Klingon warship, not Romulan.
it's funny you guys said like something about a coffee table. That probably would make a cool coffee table because that's probably about
Hells
how big
yeah.
it is. I'm betting that the models are probably 6-7 inches across.
Yeah.
You think they're models, or is that a matte painting part of it?
That could be some of it is matte painting, possibly. Like I can from watching it a couple times, like the guys look like they're animated. They're really well done, but they're like clearly
Yeah,
just
but the
animated.
stuff on the right doesn't look like models. They look like a matte
They
painting.
could be. That could very well. Like there is a line there, like right onto the right of the, right where the Millennium Falcon shadow ends.
Yep.
You can
I'm
see the
looking at it. I
line.
can see it. I can see it.
Yeah, but it goes underneath those other 2, so I'm not sure on that. But it could be. You could be right on that, and you would have an eye for that even more so than I would probably. So, oh, they did some great matte shots in this with matte paintings. You wouldn't believe.
Oh yeah,
like when they come into Spaceball City, that's all a matte painting.
Oh, wow!
It's just the ship in front of a green screen, and then it composed it with a matte painting. Yeah, they did great effects on this movie. This movie, I mean, has class A effects. And it was $25 million they spent on it in 87. So that's nothing to sneeze at. I mean, it's
$3 million more than Blade Runner.
Yeah, well, and that was in 87, so that was even 5 years after that already. And this was, even a few years removed from the Star Wars films, and that was not much less than what they spent on Empire and Jedi, I think. Because I think Empire was like 35, 40 million, somewhere in there, 50 maybe. And then I think Jedi was more in the 60 million range, if I remember. Maybe a little less. I can't remember. I might be thinking inflation too. I can't remember. I have to go back and look. But yeah, this was Mel Brooks' most expensive movie ever, and that includes Dracula Dead and Loving It. Before inflation.
Budget was 22.7 estimated.
He said 25 million in the commentary I watched earlier.
Oh,
he might have also just rounded up too.
Well, I'm sure like near the end they probably threw in a couple million at the effects because he was talking up ILM and George Lucas quite a bit during the commentary and all the work they
Lucas
because they did the long ship in the beginning and all that stuff too. Yes, back to the movie. Sorry.
Yes.
About that.
No, dude, that was awesome, Tom. No, I love when you bring the contributions to these things. So I will never stop you, but how dare you? What is wrong with you?
Well, the only other Mel Brooks thing I got from the commentary that I thought was interesting is he talked about who probably Gene Wilder would have played had he not ghosted
Yogurt.
Him. Yep, Yogurt.
I knew it.
I'll do it.
He felt
for
like a
you,
Gene
Nick.
Wilder character. Yeah, do it for me.
I will do it for you. How dare you, Tom? How dare you?
No, I seriously, like, when I saw Yogurt, all I could honestly, like, I'm not bullshit. I thought about Gene Wilder, and I'm thinking to myself, like, oh, man, that feels like a character Gene Wilder could play. Now that you're telling me that, some things just go hand in hand.
What was the reason he wasn't in here?
Well, Gene Wilder went out on his own and started making his own movies. So, I mean, they stayed friendly, but so Mel Brooks says the only reason he ever got into acting was because Gene Wilder left him. So,
yeah,
pretty much any character that outside of the obvious ones where he's clearly playing like the rabbi or that or whatever, like when Mel Brooks is doing those kind of characters, but like I think President Scrooby said, and clearly Yogurt and stuff were characters that he would have written for Gene Wilder, is what he was saying. And there's another character in a movie before this in High Anxiety, I think it was. He said that was originally written for Gene Wilder, and he played it and stuff like that. So yeah.
There's your answer, Brian.
Basically saying that Gene Wilder was always his voice in the films, basically.
It's not about money. It's about a shitload of money.
Pizza Hut.
Like that terrible Sonata Arctica song.
Oh my God, I know what you're talking about.
I mean, parody films went off the rails after Scary Movie, and they had all those Not Another movies, but I mean, hands down, this is probably one of my favorite parody films of all time. And that's even more so than Blazing Saddles. So whoever said earlier that this is Mel Brooks' best movie, I agree.
It's a case to be made. It's the best parody movie ever made.
Yes, yeah.
There is a good parody show on Netflix right now. It's like the girl in the window watching.
Well, I've tried. We've watched like 2 episodes of that. It doesn't seem very parody-esque. It seems serious. Maybe we just haven't got far enough into the series or whatever.
Oh no, there's a lot of parody in there. It's because it's making fun of all of those tropes in current mystery novels.
Oh, so we may not just be getting it. We don't watch a lot of mystery stuff, so it's probably just kind of going over our heads then.
I know. I'm laughing my ass off in that series. So
I'm watching it and I'm like, I thought this was supposed to be funny. And I'm like,
I found it hilarious.
What's it called?
It's like the girl next door watching the girl in the window. Is like a very long title making fun of all those books and movies with the same type of title. Here, I'm gonna find the exact one.
You do that because we gotta give Captain Marvel another deck in the face. Boom, bitch!
Even though it's not a parody film, I always liked 1941's parody of the Jaws scene at the beginning.
Yeah,
and it had the same actress.
That was probably the funniest scene in that whole movie, unfortunately, outside of John.
It was one of three of them. Yep.
Yeah, there's not many, unfortunately. Yeah.
I mean, I enjoy the film.
Yeah,
but it's not a rip roaring hilarious film.
No, it's definitely on the lower end of the totem pole.
Is it just me, or when Dark Helmet's spaceship is seen, you hear the Jaws notes? And, I'm sure it's the
a little bit, kind of.
Yeah, there's a touch of Jaws when you see it in space. Just they touch on it.
I found
I
the
love
exact
the
title.
tag on that car, by the way.
Yes.
Was that?
It's spoiled. What does it say? Spoiled in something.
Oh, spoiled rotten.
Yeah.
Yeah, I laughed so hard that Matt317 for $5 says, I just want to drop something in. This is one of my all-time favorite comedies. I watched this as a kid just as much as the OT. The two are intrinsically linked for me. Thanks again. Well, thank you, Matt. I appreciate the 5. Thank you for hanging out with us, sir.
What are you saying, Eddie Cast?
Okay, so the exact title is The Woman in the House Across the Street from the Girl in the Window.
That's the name of that show you're talking
that
about?
movie is not fun. It's not funny.
Okay.
I tried watching it, bro.
The title kind of turns me off, but all right.
I don't know. I love reading those novels. So
I love how they all
found it
jump and cover
hilarious.
their nuts. Watch him jump.
He's not in there.
Cover their balls. Lone Star.
Lone Star.
Every time they cover their balls, I fucking would crack up laughing.
What's funny is how they got away with a PG rating on this movie.
Yeah, dude.
It was the 80s.
Yeah.
No, speaking of, and I'm glad you mentioned that with the grabbing of said scrotums, because I think you were away when I was asking about Tom. We were interpreting or trying to guess what Dark Helmet was trying to do when, remember how Darth Vader did the force choke? Was he force grabbing their balls when he was doing that whole thing with the?
That's kind of what I've always.
I think
figured
that's what
he
they're
was doing.
insinuating. Yeah.
Okay, because I wasn't sure if it was ever cleared on what it was.
Yeah, like basically the guys kind of keyed in on the whole, the Death Star being a big ball, and they had another one, so they had two big balls. So like screwballs, Spaceballs, it just kind of all came together. So when in Rome,
And of course, Spielberg is why we have a PG-13.
Yeah, but this was actually no, it's not PG-13 when it came out, unless you're talking about a different country. It's rated PG. It has never been rated PG-13.
All right,
and it was way after PG-13 was. They just managed to get away with it.
All right, Mr. YetiCast. Apparently, you got to go, sir. If you want to plug anything really quick for the chat, go ahead and do it.
Right now I'm editing some of the D&D games that we've been playing with Literature Devil and the Loading Crew and Mad Mardigan. The other guy doesn't have a channel, I believe. So make sure you're subscribed and check that out, because I'm going to have them dropping pretty shortly here. And it's absolutely hilarious. So
tell the truth, Yeti. Tell the truth.
It is absolutely hilarious.
You're having your anal gland milk.
Well, I multitask. I do that while editing.
All right, Yeti. Hey, thank you for hanging out with us, sir. You have a good night, and I'm going to have Thanos deck you in the face on the way out. And there goes the Yeti. We'll probably never see him again.
So then, that's crazy.
What timing, Mark?
That's why you pay me extra. Come on.
Well, back then they didn't give too much of a shit about that. You could get away with a lot in a PG and a PG.
I mean, they dropped the. Because I thought as soon as there was like at least one F-bomb, it had to be bumped up to PG-13.
No, it's only they could get away with like 1 or 2 in a PG. In a PG-13, you can get away
with
the
context of the F word, how it's used.
Yes, and I was just going to get to that because like this is the original rules. They changed over time. Things have changed a lot since then. The original rules were you could get away with F words, like 1 or 2 in a PG movie at the most. But PG-13 is where they would usually go if you had more than one. But as Gary was just pointing out, the moment you use it in a sexual connotation, this is the same thing with nudity. The moment it's in a sexual connotation, that bumps it up to the R rating.
Yeah,
so
you can show boobs, but once you show boobs in a sexual situation, it changes the rating.
Yep.
That's why Clash of the Titans, they had some boobage in there, and it was my birthday party when I was like 12 years old, and my mom was trying to
actually I think they got full
eyes.
frontal nudity
She's
in
like,
that, don't they?
Yeah, and she's like, "Wow, I can't believe there's nudity," and you know, she was all upset, and like all my buddies were like,
"Best birthday present
like,
ever!"
Oh, great! But it's like, this is PG. I can't believe it. How could they have nudity?
A lot of the humor in here is innuendo, and you know, there's plausible deniability with that because it goes over the heads of much smaller kids.
Well, this is probably one of the last movies that got away with it.
Yeah.
I mean, if this movie came out 2-3 years later, it would have been PG-13.
Can you imagine a kid asking, "Hey, Mom, what does I love Uranus mean?"
It's Uranus. Uranus.
No, it's Uranus. Like, I remember when I first learned that word, I think in 2nd or 3rd grade, I'm like, Uranus?
But
like,
it's meant to be Uranus. That's the actual
I don't
official
like that.
pronunciation.
Oh, fuck
Yeah,
that
they
pronunciation.
changed it to that in
I
order
don't like
to
Uranus either,
stop
Nick.
the jokes.
No, you like the anus. It's not about the anus. It's anus. Anus. Well, thank you for hanging out with us, Bruce. Hopefully you do like what you hear as we talk about anus and loving it. Oh, shit. Matt from Foulball Productions. Speaking of anus, how you doing?
Oh, it's Foulball. What's up, dude?
Hey, man.
Hey.
I'm right above you. I'm looking over my name tag. See
How's it going, man?
Hey, what's up? I haven't talked to you in a while.
I know it's been a minute. Been since the Band of Brothers, but that was a blast.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of porn, so.
Well, you and me both. Well, you and me both.
It really does interfere with all my friendships.
Sounds like you have an addiction.
I got an addict something.
Hey,
Oh my god, that was well said, Gary. Well said. That was.
Thanks, buddy.
So Matt, you got here
good
right
to
in
see you,
time
Fable.
for the toxicity. Like we have been talking about the ridiculousness of Colonel Sanders and
Colonel
Dark Helmet.
Sanders.
Yeah.
And
Hey, what
it's
are
funny you said
chicken?
ridiculous because that is a speed in the movie.
It
Yeah.
is. It's between very fast and ludicrous.
That's right.
Hey,
We've never gone that fast, sir.
that's ludicrous. No, what a speed! It was light speed, ridiculous speed, and ludicrous speed.
I
Okay,
love
that's
this
the
moment
order.
right here. The way he's like got his nose up and he's all like frustrated. Like, how did they do that?
I love the scene where they're going to the radar, and he goes, "What's all this bubbling and churning? You call that radar? No, sir. We call that Mr. Coffee." And it's just like, I knew that.
Sorry, yeah.
You knew that. Of course I did, sir. You all knew that. Of course we did, sir. That's great. I always like to have coffee.
Of course,
coffee
I always
with
have coffee when I'm watching Radar.
Oh, this is one of my favorite moments right here when they go into light speed or whatever they call it here.
Light speed is too.
And then he's not strapped in.
It's too dangerous.
Oh my god, I love this.
What's the matter, Sanders? Chicken.
What's so funny is they go through that whole bit with him being called Colonel Sanders for almost half the film before you get to that joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like I think this is like the peak moment where Mel Gibson it all just came together. It was
Mel
just
Brooks.
sorry, Mel
Different
Brooks.
director.
Yeah, well, one of the Mels.
He's like calling everybody sugar tits.
Yeah, right. Mel Gibson would not work with Mel Brooks. He's got a problem with his background.
Yeah, there's that too.
There's that too. But no, it's like right where it's peak silliness, and it didn't go too far. Right, like it's all for whatever reason in this movie. It's so silly, it's so ridiculous, but it works. And a lot of people say it's kind of the last time it worked.
No, I don't disagree. I mean, you had the Naked Gun movies, which were okay past this, and a few other ones that people do like the scary movies.
Top
I'm not
Secret.
a huge fan. Top Secret was after this too. But
See,
no, you're
I
not
didn't
totally
think
wrong.
The scary movies only had worked for 2 films. The rest of them weren't funny at all.
And are those
No, I agree.
Are those Mel Brooks movies?
Top Secret was I think Top Secret was earlier than this, Tom. It was a little.
It was
bit
the
earlier.
Wayans brothers at one point, and then the guys that did the airplane films
came back
and
and
Naked
did it,
Gun
yeah.
came back and took over. It just I don't know. They all kind of lost the ability to do that kind of humor.
I mean, that kind of movie just kind of it went away, right? Like it was one of like comedies. There's certain types of comedies that kind of go to the wayside after a while, and that just parody films just kind of ran their course. It feels like
The joke runs thin pretty quick.
It started with Airplane, and it ended with either this kind of
started with
Dracula
with,
Dead and Loving It, if you ask me. But yeah,
Kentucky
that
Fried
was a little
Movie
over the top.
is really where it started.
Yeah, because that was all parodies. That was all short
Yeah.
parodies.
Before we
Amazon
carry
Women
on,
on the Moon.
before we
But I
carry
meant
on,
like Airplane
Eric,
was the first major one. But yeah,
Eric K, I think you made an unintentional mistake with the link that you plugged in for 70s. That's Man Mardigan's channel.
I have appeared on some of his
what
shows.
gave you
but-
that idea?
And I guess he just
Eric,
wanted a handy from Randy.
Well,
Maybe
let's
that's what it
face
was.
it. Let's face it. Only time Mad's shows are good is when I'm actually on them. So that's a good plug.
Oh, and Tom, Top Secret was out in '84.
Okay, yeah,
That's what I thought. Yeah, it's a bit
84,
earlier
okay.
than.
Love Top
I
Secret.
wasn't sure
That's
either
one of my
when you first
favorites,
brought
yeah.
it up.
It's
Yeah.
a great. It's
I
got the
think you're
best
right,
ever
though.
forced perspective scene when he goes to pick up the phone.
Oh, yeah.
and it's huge,
Gigantic phone.
This is probably my second or third. This is my third favorite joke in the movie because it comes back again and it's in a better joke, and that is the instant videotape. So the instant videotape.
Oh yeah,
It's
that's a
great.
great joke.
movie.
To
I do
at
think
one-
you're right, though, Tom. I think like certain genres kind of have a time and place. I've said that about actually action films, especially like the not superhero, but like the Arnold Schwarzenegger style action film. Like they petered out around like the mid to late 90s. And it's kind of like when you try to recapture that, it's like, it doesn't really work anymore. It's just some movies just have a shelf life. A genre has a shelf life. And I think this slapstick parody kind of did too.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Die Hard was kind of the end of the road. Like from there out, they kind of all became Die Hard parodies. I mean, you had a few in there, but no, I don't disagree. Michael Bay kind of killed the action film.
Well, it's kind of the same thing with the early '80s, like raunchy comedies, like Porky's.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Because they went away, and then then they did American Pie, which is kind of a throwback to that, and that was a huge deal. But they haven't really been able to recapture that since. They tried.
I mean, they stomped
I don't
that
think
to
they
death, though, with
can.
like 17 American Pie movies.
Well, yeah, they had a dozen of those. They had the road trip movies. They had Sex Drive. They tried a couple of
Yeah,
them.
Road Trip was good. I like Euro Trip was hilarious.
Eurotrip still gets memed. Like Scotty doesn't know. Like that's still a pretty popular meme.
Oh yeah,
still.
there was a night where I was telling the kids about it, and the lady, because I don't think they had seen the movie, and then I was like, it's Matt Damon singing on stage about his girlfriend who's dating, the whole thing. But so they actually all went on YouTube and were watching it, and it was hilarious.
Well, I think the parody movies went out of style because even though the Farrelly brothers or not Farrelly brothers, but what's their names? They were working from Airplane that moved into Scary Movie. Like by then, I think they were just going through the motions. Is my point.
Yeah,
they felt
Zucker and Abrams.
Zucker and Abrams, thank you. Yeah, because like you kind of get to this point where they don't like you once you watch one of those Not Another movies or We Are the Spartans and all those kind of things, they kind of forgot how these movies work. They started winking too much at the camera. There was too many just random nonsense.
Yeah, much
like,
of the humor came
parody.
from being serious.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to get to. Is like because you have like all of a sudden you'll go from a scene that's making fun of Pulp Fiction to something that's making fun of, Titanic to all these things that are going to really date the movie. The reason this works, especially with Mel Brooks and a lot of those earlier Zucker film and Abrams films and stuff like that, is because the characters are playing out a story seriously.
Yep.
The humor comes out of the play in the words, like the whole raspberry joke before I was bringing up, and how,
and that's why he used a lot of dramatic actors. Abrams,
exactly, yeah. Because they're basically doing the exact same script as the airplane is what is it? Airports, whatever.
Oh no! It's a movie from the 50s.
Oh, that's right. What's it called?
It's a remake. I forget it.
I can't remember what it's called now, but yeah, it's almost verbatim that.
Yeah, it's exact quotes actually.
Yeah, but it's just the way that the actors are delivering it, the things around it, and then you have all the other kind of characters kind of hopping in and
structurally, it's exactly the same.
Exactly, and that's what this movie is here. This is structurally the same damn thing as Star Wars, right?
And you care. Like I always cared about the plot of this movie. Like I never threw that away. Like as much as it's all silly and it's fun, you are rooting for them to win against the.
Well,
the
Nick said,
screwballs.
I think it was Nick earlier who said nobody's going to mistake this for Star Wars, or somebody did.
I have a question for the 70s rock guy, buddy. Hey, Scotsman. Hey, Scottish guy.
He's a Canadian Scot guy, ain't he?
Yeah.
Well, what clan does the plaid go with in the movie?
They've gone to plaid.
They've gone plaid.
70s is off somewhere.
What
in
clan
another
is
place.
that?
And it's funny too, because at least in my opinion, this is one of Mel Brooks' cleaner movies as far as language goes too. Like this isn't History of the World. This isn't
Blazing Saddles.
Blazing Saddles. Yeah, I mean he's done other
Silent
clean
movie
ones.
was pretty PG.
Well,
but but then you get lots of mileage when they do curse because it's so it's so contrast to the rest of the film. When they do curse, it's like, whoa, it's such a huge laugh.
He's like, we can't stop. It's too fast. Bullshit.
Right. Yeah. Or the two black guys in the desert. Comb the desert. And the two guys, we ain't found shit with the Afro pick.
All right, guys, 5-minute break. 5-minute break, guys.
How are you guys? You're good. You're good? Okay. Well, what do you think we should do now?
I love this scene with the broken glasses. By the
Smoke
way,
them if you got them.
Smoke if you
fuck yeah, great fucking scene.
There's so many great visual gags, like when he's in the desert and he's wearing like the desert hat, but it's still a Darth Vader helmet. And they don't acknowledge it.
Sir, what are we doing here? Well, we were told to comb the desert, so we're combing the desert.
You're sure we're not being too literal, sir?
Well, that right there is a perfect example of like, because he's being fucking serious, right? And it still plays into the movie, but like instead of like one of these other movies where they're just randomly throwing in stuff from another movie, the closest you come to that is the alien joke at the end, right? But it plays so well.
Oh no,
because it actually has John Hurt.
As John Hurt, yeah.
He's like, "What did you order? I ordered the soup."
Yeah. It also has its own texture too. Like as much as it's a parody, like there's still certain things like the ship design, like it has its own aesthetic to the point where it's a parody, but it is a movie. It is a science fiction movie. Like there's the Scroobs, and they have like their own world and the air thing. Like there's its own universe.
Well, I think Mark said it earlier, actually, that he said you're not going to confuse this with a Star Wars movie, which is funny because Andre, my boss over at Midnight's Edge.
Wait for this, guys.
Yeah, because I told that story to Nick earlier. That's why I said Nick instead of But he had never seen Star Wars until he was like 17, 16. When the special
which is funny to me because you got to go out of your way not to see.
Well,
Star Wars.
they weren't big there, but he happened to see. Plus, there was a time period where it was very government controlled entertainment, and then they switched. And not only that, he also came to America when he was younger too. It's a kind of long kind of story to it, but he saw Spaceballs, a decade before he saw Star Wars.
Wow.
So to him, Spaceballs was his Star Wars.
Wow.
I shit you not. He has an affinity for this film that you wouldn't believe. That compared to what, like, he's like, how you guys feel about Star Wars, that's how I feel about Spaceballs.
Well, that's the other thing too, is like
That's
they
all
don't
surprising
lean
for
into the Star Wars jokes so much that it's distracting. Where it's like, his name's Lone Star, and like they do the opening.
Yeah, the movie
joke.
doesn't really wink at you, and that's important.
Just yogurt is the
Tom
most.
brought that up earlier. That too often these parodies wink at the audience, and it's stop it. Just tell us a story. This is a story. The only person that really breaks the fourth wall is Rick Moranis, his dark helmet.
Well, there's three people who break the fourth wall in this movie.
Mel
but they
does
do
it
the
once.
proper term. Mel does it once as yogurt, and then John Candy does it when he talks to the audience,
Right.
And then you said Rick Moranis, yeah.
Yeah, Rick Moranis does it, I guess, when they're doing the videotape thing, which breaks the entire illusion because it's like, oh, it's a movie.
When is this? This is now, sir. When is now?
Yeah, which is
What
funny.
the hell am I looking at?
When will now be then?
Soon.
Yeah, that always reminds me of because I used to make fun of the second Speed movie because when the villain put, Green Goblin, I can't think of his name right now. Yeah, he goes to the computer and he tells it to self-destruct now. You can't do that to a computer. Completely fuck with it. It doesn't understand the concept of now. It understands the concept of time, but not now. Now it's confusing to a computer. So I remember just laughing my ass off at that scene.
What's sad is that shot we just saw there is probably the worst shot in the whole movie. You can totally tell it's a miniature because of the sand.
Oh, the sand scene? Yeah.
Yeah, because of the sand scale. It just you can't
descale sand.
They do that a lot with fire, where you're like, those flames are way too
water too. Water is one of the worst.
Well, that's why they usually use salt for water. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Especially for falling water, anyway. Yeah.
That adds to the charm of the movie, I think, though, with those.
Oh yeah, well, that's the
It's
beauty of it. Though,
totally.
is they could have leaned into this idea that we're doing a cheap parody, but they didn't. That's another thing that I think works with it. Like, because your first instinct would be to go to that, but no. Instead, Mel's like, we need to make this look like one of those Star Wars movies, or nobody's going to take it seriously, even though it's supposed to be a comedy, right?
Right.
You need to he knew then you need to be able to carry an audience through this movie. You just can't throw random jokes and random references and shit like that at the audience and expect them to be along for a 90-minute movie. It has to have a storyline to it. Even the beaming joke is part of the fucking story.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't beam. It's too takes. I'm not sure
This
how that
time I'm
stuff
gonna
works.
walk.
Yeah, next time I'm just gonna walk, and he walks
there.
right
It's like
They're making fun of Star Trek, but you're right.
Exactly.
It's also part
Yes.
of the
And
gags of the story.
It's on backwards. Why did everybody tell me my ass was so big?
You guys at the same time was perfect.
And he scratches it in front of everybody.
Oh, he
Ooh,
scratches
I got an itch. Yeah,
he reaches
scratches
down to his taint.
right in front of everyone.
Scratches it.
I always love Mel
one,
Brooks is
lock
like
two, lock loan.
yeah, when he's like the mayor in Blazing Saddles, and like this one too, where he's got like the two bimbos, and he goes, "Hi, Marlene. I'm Charlene. Okay, Charlene. I'm
It's great to be
Marlene."
It's great to be the governor, or great to be the mayor.
It's good to be the king.
Well, and I think those are actually the real Doublemint twins, weren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah,
Because I think that was the whole joke. Was like that's why he's like chew your gum.
Chew your gum. Oh, that's funny.
That's probably
they're carrying
the
the
worst.
luggage. This is such a good scene.
Okay, that right there, the chew your gum joke is one of the few jokes in the movie that's almost like every joke in one of those so-called modern parody films, right? Because it dates the movie so bad. If you don't know those people in those commercials, you don't
I
know
didn't
that
know
joke.
because we didn't see those commercials in the UK, so I didn't know at the time.
It still works. The line works though, because
It works to a point if you kind of vaguely remember. But like, yeah, I mean, but it doesn't detract from the movie either. Like, one of these movies now would just hit you over the fucking head with it.
Right. No, but what I mean, in the context, like I never got that. I didn't know that until this second. But it's like when he says it, it just sounds like, oh, just chew your gum. Like, look, stand there and look pretty is essentially what he's saying. So it's like,
what it comes.
It works on two levels.
Yep.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
we got to play that Doublemint twins commercial. Yeah, those were some
Doublemint,
fine-looking women back in the day.
I love how the blow dryer gets bigger not only as they walk away, but they still walk away with the case that carried it. It says like that was the only use for that case was to carry that blow dryer. But they just walk away with the empty case. So like,
and I can't live without it. Like she's also definitely not Princess Leia either.
Here we go. What I said earlier on
scene.
About where we see like how this is prophetic and predicting how it showed up to Rocky 14. I'm like, and we're already halfway there with getting up to Rocky 14, like because you see Louis 14 Rocky film
with his review of Rocky 5.
There you go.
All
of
Mel
Mr.
Brooks'
Rental
movies.
Yeah, Mr. Rental too. Look at that.
Everything's a Mr. Rental, Mr. Coffee.
What's underneath there? Is that?
Yes,
I
just double checked. It is the real Doublemint twins in the movie. Yes.
Thank you.
I thought
Blazing
so.
Saddles.
That's so funny. He's plugging his own movie.
Yeah, this is my second favorite joke in the film.
Oh, Young Frankenstein. We should do that one, right, maybe.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
What knockers?
I can't believe he's got the 12 chairs in there too. That's like his worst fucking movie.
Most obscure one.
Yeah, it's not very good.
Is this the too hot scene? Is this when he goes too hot?
Yeah.
Too hot.
Too hot.
Oh, yeah.
No, I think that was earlier.
Was that earlier? Okay.
I think that was the radar watching scene.
Oh, okay.
This is the one where he drinks it through the thing and it has a little funneling sound.
It's so funny.
It's like it sounds like a little drain thing or whatever.
Like it's just so absurd. Like his giant helmet, and they don't like his name's Lord Helmet. Like, but they don't acknowledge that it's too big, which is perfect.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
they
this
never
gag of
follow
them
it.
seeing themselves on the screen and then looking back for the camera when they're watching the movie.
No, all right. So I'm assuming for the gentleman on the panel who owned this movie on VHS, is that how the case ended up looking for
No,
Spaceballs?
no, surprisingly, no.
Damn, that's a missed
actually the original
opportunity.
poster. But all these years later, the 4K edition that came out from Kino Lorber, you know what they did?
What?
They put that version on there so you could flip it over and have that version on the cover.
That's awesome.
No, that's cool.
That's great.
I love that, dude.
Hey,
that's badass.
speaking of like the business of it, Tom, I was curious. Was this movie a hit when it came out?
A moderate hit.
Yeah, actually, I think box
it's
office
all-
wise, this was Mel Brooks' biggest film.
No way.
Video wise, I know it is.
For sure, video.
Yeah, he said that this
all
is
my
his
friends,
biggest
this is
video
all
seller.
we talked about for like 2 or 3 months.
That's a great conversation to talk about for 2 or 3 months.
I mean, I grew up on this movie. I would watch it constantly.
No, it was a fairly moderate hit at the time when it came out. Yeah.
Yeah,
we watched it. I mean, every chance we
made
could
its
get.
money and more.
I mean, 87 wasn't a huge movie for year for movies. Ugh, I can't talk, but yeah.
It's probably
Like
doubled
Rain
its
Man
money.
was probably one of the bigger ones that year. I'm trying to remember what the biggest movie of 87 was offhand. I can't even think. Maybe Beverly Hills Cop, but I think that was 86, wasn't it? Was that
Dragnet.
86?
I don't
Was that
know.
a big movie?
And his dialogue is
Let's
so good
look.
here
There's
right
a
now.
John
Fifth
Simmons
Avenue
movie
stuff.
that
I
came
know.
out. It
Full
was,
Metal
uh,
Jacket,
Some Kind of
Lost
Wonderful.
Boys,
Oh, great movie. Oh, Lost
Um,
Boys is a great movie.
Over the Top, 87.
Classically,
Which is
awful
funny
movie.
because Over the Top lost money. Okay, here's the top grossers. Yeah, Beverly Hills Cop did.
Predator was 87, wasn't it?
Wow.
Beverly
Yeah,
Hills
right,
Cop
was.
2, I was right about that. Okay, so Beverly Hills Cop 2, because I thought that was 87. Yep. Then
RoboCop.
Platoon, Fatal Attraction, Untouchables, 3 Men and a Baby, Secret of
RoboCop?
My Success, Stakeout, Lethal Weapon, The Witches of
Oh,
Eastwick, and
dude,
Predator
I
in the
don't
top
know.
Pretty
10.
good year.
Pretty good year for movies, Tom.
Pretty good year.
And I was
Spaceballs came
bored
in-
on.
Spaceballs come in at 24 with 38 million. So it made its money back barely.
So yeah,
The
it's not a hit. That's not
as
a
you say,
hit.
The VHS money.
No,
would have
is
been
that
huge.
domestic or is that worldwide?
That's just domestic. This
Okay,
is, this time they didn't have worldwide
Well,
numbers.
worldwide
damn.
wasn't as big of a market back then.
Well, I went to see all Mel Brooks's movies in the 80s in the cinema, and they were always pretty.
They
busy,
just didn't
so-
count that.
yeah.
And that's the other thing is you had different distribution deals a lot of times. Like back then it wasn't always the same. Like now 90% of the movies that get released are, if Disney's releasing it here, they're releasing it everywhere. If Warner's releasing it here, they're releasing it everywhere.
Mm.
Back in the day, you could have a movie that was released by Warner Brothers here, 20th Century Fox in one country, Universal in another country, some off the wall, country and name company in Canada. Lionsgate actually carried a lot of the American movies back in the day in Canada. So like you had a lot of these different companies that would
And
do
very
this,
often not released at all, Tom. I mean,
or
it
just
was
straight to video. Yeah.
lots of movies in the UK we never saw released in cinemas that were fairly big movies in America sometimes.
You know what's gonna make this more embarrassing about me not seeing Spaceballs until recently? I was born in 1987. This should have
Well-
me written all over it.
Eh, but it's like, but then by the time you're old enough to appreciate it, it'd been like
Well,
6,
just to
7 years.
understand the difference, though. Okay, so yeah, it only made 38 million, but Beverly Hills Cop 2 made 153 million. So that's not that bad.
Well,
It's not that bad, but that's not a hit. It's not like a runaway hit. And
Not in
'cause that's
theaters,
the
That's
thing.
why I
on
said it was a
video it
moderate
was.
success.
That's
but
the
it
thing.
probably-
But on
with the
video
VHS
means
money.
On video though means it found its life secondarily. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't a hit when it first came out, but like afterwards, it became like a cult success.
But this would be gangbusters in video rental at the time. There would be
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like
dozens of copies of this.
It made
thing.
enough money to make its money back, barely. So it was a moderate success in the box office. But yeah, once it hit video and cable, that's when it found its second life, and that's what Mel Brooks said of all of his films, including Blazing Saddles. this is the one that sells the most on video. That's why MGM has released this movie like 10 fucking times in the last 30 years.
So I guess you could
Virgin
say
Alarm,
it became a long-term hit, maybe, because obviously it wasn't an instant hit, but a hit over time, I guess you could
I
say.
was just thinking, Nick, it's very possible you were conceived when your parents were watching this movie.
We'll see.
Virgin Alarm, yeah.
I've seen
He had a
so many
5-week
great.
gestation period.
I've seen so many
that's true.
great 80 flish from 87, but somehow this is the one that flew under my radar from the year of 87.
Well, don't
And
forget
it's funny
too, like,
because it's one of the few Mel Brooks films to have a couple of metal songs in the soundtrack, or semi-metal, quasi-metal.
I know.
And I saw something in the trivia or whatever that like they changed. Where did it go? There was something in here about the song that they end the movie on is different from like in streaming versus theatrical.
Yeah, they switch out. Is it Bon Jovi for Van Halen or something?
Yeah,
Van Halen was in this.
Yeah, a few streaming versions like on Amazon Prime replaced the song "Good Enough" by Van Halen with "She Ain't Lonesome" by Steve Fisher.
Is that a rights issue or is
that's
that
it?
Probably.
Yeah, definitely a rights issue.
So
When
Bon
is the
Jovi's
Van
always in
Halen
it.
song in there? There's a
Van Halen and then there's Bon Jovi.
the Bon Jovi song is in the beginning, but
It's Raise Your Hands, yeah.
Because
Yeah,
I
that
would never
one-
complain,
Oh,
Van
that's right.
Halen replacing Bon Jovi ever.
Oh no, I've never.
But it
complained
was
about that.
both.
I'm trying to
was
remember
both.
where Van Halen was in there.
I don't remember.
It was listed in the credits. I don't know. I can't
Unless
remember.
it's always been changed.
Was it
that
over
way.
the titles at the end? I can't remember. I watched
Well,
it
the
today,
Untitled
I can't remember.
Spaceballs song.
Well, that was the Cranberries for singing Spaceballs, or no.
No,
someone-
no, no.
Berlin.
The Spinners.
Berlin. Was it Berlin?
The Spinners sang Spaceballs.
Thank you, the Spinners. Thank you for the correction.
You know what
let
I
me-
think it was? I think it's when you first are introduced to Lone Star and Barf, when like Barf is like rocking out while he's eating the chicken.
That's the Bon Jovi song.
That's Bon Jovi.
That's Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
maybe that's
Yeah.
what they switched out?
Because I just played it in the background. I'm like, I know this song and I associate it with the movie. So
I mean, that was not an uncommon thing sometimes because when video first, they didn't really know how to do the licensing. So there was a lot of videos and movies back in the day where they change out the songs. Like most famously that I can think of is National Lampoon's Vacation, because I hate that they changed out I'm So Excited, which is in the theatrical version, but all the video versions are that other song that is not I'm So Excited. It's not the same song. It's just not. But
It's Pointers.
oh,
it's
it
a
was in
different
the
Pointer
Space
Sisters.
Diner.
yeah, it's like little
up.
boy, sweet
I wanna-
little boys.
It was in the
Bring
end.
it.
It
The
was-
Jawas. The Jawas. This is when they bring up how these look like some Disney characters. Like once again, another prophetic scene because we all obviously know how
Dink, dink.
Disney and Star Wars turned out. So besides Rocky 14, which we're like, as Tom said, we're halfway there. Right, we had another scene where we had Disney and Star Wars as the merger, which obviously it didn't turn out for the best, but this movie definitely did some things that it probably didn't intend to, foreshadow.
Well, it's like how The Simpsons has gotten so much stuff like correct, so many predictions over the years. With like they have like 730 some episodes. So
Yep.
Oh yeah, Van Halen is on the soundtrack. Holy shit! Good
You know
enough.
what? I just
what
looked
song?
it up. It's in the diner scene.
Okay, that's what I was
At the
thinking. I'm
end?
just listening to it now. Yep.
At the end when they walk in the diner, this is "Hello, baby," and it plays after that.
Yeah,
Oh, here's that giant helmet. Here's Dark Helmet's
Yeah, I
helmets
watched-
are outside.
I watched the
That's
movie
actually on the
today and I don't
soundtrack.
remember Van Halen being in it, but yeah, I knew they were in it. I just totally skipped it when I
Yeah.
was watching it. Yeah.
It's actually
It
on
looks
the
like the
soundtrack.
Volkswagen.
So what song did they switch it out for?
No, it's in the movie. It's in the
No, but
diner
they
scene.
they did switch it for some reason.
That's what I'm saying. Which song did they switch it with?
I don't know. Just can't,
I like. You also Dark Helmet has his Dark Helmet voice for his desert helmet too. Like somehow they have the same voice.
So it's the diner scene, Tom. That some Amazon Prime streaming
Sammy
version.
Sammy
switches-
Hagar Van Halen. There, that's why it's
Yeah,
Van
the
Halen.
diner scene is
Thank
where it
you,
switches for
RC.
Steve Fisher instead of Van Halen on Amazon Prime. Apparently,
For Steve Fisher?
I don't know. Who
Oh my
Steve Fisher
God,
is.
Tom!
Yeah, that's not even on the
Tom,
soundtrack.
another favorite film that came out in '87 was Summer School.
Oh yeah, there were some decent ones. It just wasn't like one of those movie years that had like the only $100 million hit was Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Close to it was RoboCop.
Yep, close up there was RoboCop.
Fucking great
Predator.
movie.
Predator was
remember.
number 10.
RoboCop
Predator
and
hit
Predator came out in the same year.
Yes, they
Yes,
did.
they did.
God damn it.
And I gotta say, I was wrong about the box office. Young Frankenstein and Blazing Saddles made. I think this is from re-releases though, because they've got Blazing Saddles at 119 million. I don't think it made that.
No
much
way,
that time.
no way, because no movie was 100 million.
That's what I'm saying. So I think that's
God.
from re-releases, and then Young Frankenstein, same deal, because I know they just re-released that a couple years ago.
But
That's
I do
sitting at
think those
86.
were hits. I think
They
those
were
were
hits,
like,
yes.
yeah, they were hits at the time. They were like the movies everyone was going to see. I don't feel like this one was that big until it hit video.
I remember it. I mean, I was alive when it came out, but I didn't get to see it till video.
Yeah, well, I don't remember it being that big either. It was just one of those, you know, hey,
I
if you
was
like
like
Mel
8
Brooks,
when
you're
this
going to
came
see
out.
it.
I mean, I had
This
friends
is
who
such
saw
a
it, but
Wizard
they
of Oz
weren't
moment.
making a big deal out of it.
Here he is, yogurt.
Yeah, when they meet yogurt, it's such a Wizard of Oz moment.
It's a Wizard of Oz moment.
The
And
all powerful, right?
And I couldn't help but see Gene Wilder's face and not Mel Brooks's face, even though obviously it's Mel Brooks who played the character. But I just like it just felt like a Gene Wilder thing, and then obviously
He would have played it much differently.
Oh, he would have, and then it's just one of those things where I don't know what maybe. I just some things are just I guess become synonymous with each other, and that just looked like, hey, this looks like a Mel Brooks thing. But no, I'm glad Mel Brooks did play yogurt.
He's great.
He is
Merchandising
awesome.
where the real money from the movie is made.
Well, he said like
Use the
so like
Schwartz.
this character he didn't like. Well, he liked playing the character, but the makeup messed with him and like gave him a rash. And
Oh,
then
I'm
like
sure.
being on his knees hurt him a lot too.
Oh, I believe that. That sounded like
Because he's an
bad.
older cat, so you know that couldn't have been that much fun.
No, that's got to be brutal. You ever play catcher in baseball? It's like your knees are killer. I couldn't imagine walking on your knees for.
Then my wife was a catcher at softball, so she's always complaining about her knees.
Yeah, there it is. Spaceballs the T-shirt.
Spaceballs, the flamethrower.
Yeah, I'll play the clip in a second. You know, once we get through this. But that's the one line. Like my buddies and I would always quote this movie. And we would always the merchandising.
Speaking of merchandising,
merchandising.
And of course, this is a great parody making fun of Star Wars that I love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the whole merch thing.
All right,
yeah, God, Lucas was a genius too. For making
I mean,
all that
who
money.
did not eat C3POs? The cereal.
Right. I remember eating those.
Merchandising.
Where the real money from the movie is made. Spaceballs the T-shirt. Spaceballs the coloring book.
God, and Gary and Brusho earlier on Me Time, he had the cereal.
Yeah,
he
the
had
cereal
the
and
lunchbox.
Yeah. And I love the coloring book. It's fucking Transformers.
Right. Think about how many people got rich off of Star Wars toys just by buying them and then selling them later.
I know.
Have you seen those pictures people have been posting, like, you know, in the 80s with all the Star Wars toys lined up in the aisle? It's like, God, if you could go back in time, it's like,
I know,
I'll just
right?
take the whole row, you know, and triple
give
your,
me the
quadruple
store.
your money. Yeah, I'd like it all. Take it
Oh,
all.
it's like, you know, I've been doing that He-Man stuff, and I've been digging up all these old ads and stuff, and it's like a bunch of He-Man figures for like $2.99. It's like, oh,
that's great.
Dude, yeah, I've been looking at the new He-Man figures because I keep seeing them at Walmart and
Yeah.
stuff, like the giant battle cat that's actually like the right size and like, and then, but they're like $20-$30 a piece. I'm like, I can't justify spending that kind of money on these toys. They were like $4 when I was a kid. But I mean, I didn't have $4 either. My mom did, but
No, you can never not buy the toys. Come on. Just
How much
spend
were
the money,
action
right?
figures when we were growing up, Nick?
When I see, okay, so my upbringing of buying action figures was from the KB Toys era of like Spider-Man, the animated series.
Yeah.
Obviously, Star Wars: A Phantom Menace. They would be anywhere between like I guess $5 to $8. I guess you could say it was around that price, and they were always affordable. And
these
it
are
was not
fucking
a ton-
awesome, though. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
If these are the ones you're talking about, because these are awesome.
I remember that. Oh, nice. Oh, that's the 80s. Yeah.
Well, these are
That's
the
the
newer
remake,
ones.
right? Yeah.
yeah,
that's
the
the
new, like
remake?
the new ones. I keep wanting them, like, but it's just like I don't have any money, so like $20.
I don't
a piece.
either, but You know.
But action figures are rent, right? Yeah.
Food or action figures, right?
Yeah.
I remember, Nick, I was thinking about this because I rewatched the movie the other day. And I was like, oh fuck, I had that action figure. I had the bug alien monster from Starship Troopers. I had like one of those things with like the jaw, you could move it and like fight it. And it was like, scaled to be bigger than all the, I was like,
I love when
man.
they market toys to kids for R-rated movies.
Oh yeah,
So
that was
great.
the big thing in the late 80s, early 90s. They tried that.
Nintendo started doing that too.
You got your Deep Throat and Emmanuel toys, didn't you?
No, but they tried with RoboCop and Alien and stuff, obviously. But
You got your on Golden Pond.
I was hoping
action
for a
figure.
Deep Throat figure.
So filthy.
Henry
70s.
Fonda action figure.
This is the best He-Man figure. Come on.
I had a ton
That's
of them
an
back
OG,
when I was
isn't
a
it?
kid. I wish I still had
Isn't
them.
that one of the scratch and sniff toys?
That was one of the ones that would smell like. Did he smell like patchouli or pine? I think he smelled like pine, didn't he?
Pine.
Yeah,
The Stinkor that smelled
we
like
used
patchouli.
to call it the scratch and sniff toys.
Yeah, because like they had the skunk man that actually smelled like skunk, and the
I
same
know,
thing with
Oh,
like
patchouli. Actually, that was Stinkor. Yeah.
And well, yeah, then they
Mothman,
had
yep.
then there was a Bambi toy that came out. I remember, and it was like a little flower, the skunk, and it smelled like skunk.
Ugh, that's
Not
horrifying.
really, but I mean, it was close enough for government work. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
But it's funny that the whole merchandise thing.
Spaceballs, the breakfast cereal. Spaceballs, the flamethrower.
So basically, all Elon Musk is for his merchandising is just ripping off Spaceballs, because you've got the ludicrous mode plaid, the not a flamethrower.
Homage.
Well, yeah.
Well, my
flamethrowers illegal everywhere. Yeah.
This
So
is probably
wait
my
till
fifth favorite
Congress hears
scene.
about that.
But my fourth favorite scene is when he's like, knock next time. Did you see anything?
Oh yeah.
No, sir.
I didn't see you playing with your dolls again.
Yes, Soul Assassin, that's true. Kenner did do basically if they could make it a toy, they went for it. They had no lines, they had no rules.
Spaceballs
Just like
the doll.
Spaceballs the punch. Toxic Man Flew for $10 says when they remake this film, shut the fuck up, Tox. I love you, but don't say that. I think Matt should be Lone Star. As a comedy junkie, this is a movie I saw multiple times in the theater. It was the year I graduated high school, and I drove my 1979 Cutlass like a pimp. You are a pimp, Tox. And thank you for the $10, sir. Appreciate it.
I would
you.
come out of retirement for that role, 100%.
You're gonna come.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
come.
I'm gonna come.
I'm gonna come.
In the immortal
Spaceballs
words
the
of
sheet.
Keith Moncrief, come hard.
Oh, dude! Look, Spaceballs a blanket. No, did that say the blanket though? It better
so
said the
awesome.
blanket.
Said the sheet.
Yes.
Well,
I had a
sheet.
friend who had a friend
Okay,
of his watching. He had a Battlestar Galactica set of sheets, like from kid all the way through
What's the
college.
book there?
He had his Battlestar Galactica.
Don't
sheets,
blame me.
Yes, don't
That-
blame me.
me.
It's Nixon's book. He's reading
Well, that's what
Nixon's
it
book.
is. That's what it was. Yeah, Nixon like this.
Oh,
That's
here's the
so
comb of the
funny.
desert.
Don't blame me.
That he'd be a
Dude.
fan of Nixon. Like-
Ugh, right?
combing the desert. It's
Well,
an
of course,
obvious
it's
joke.
more hilarious because they give the black guys the pick.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
great.
Of course.
They're getting the Afro pick.
Of course,
Yeah.
yeah, the Afro, but dude,
Nothing yet, sir.
Hard rubber.
And I love that it's like the comb and it's exactly to spec, but like humongous. Like it's just such a funny prop.
Those poor guys.
We ain't fast shit.
This scene would be absolutely canceled.
Canceled
today.
today,
Yeah, you could not get away with this scene today.
That scene, like seriously, the fact that they had them with that, I was like, wow. Man, look
You
at
can read it?
yogurt.
No, I'm just clearing my throat.
Yo, I was actually, the fight. I'm glad you mentioned that because I actually got played by this thing. I actually thought he was gonna be, oh, he understands the language. Oh, fuck, I got played. So I was actually
it's a
like,
great joke. It's so, and it sounds like he's almost reading like Hebrew, like just a nice little.
Means your
little
father
joke
was a
in there.
king and your mother was a queen, which makes you
A prince.
That's convenient.
I put some liquid Schwartz in your glove box.
Liquid Schwartz. I forgot about
Liquid
that.
Schwartz.
Use the Schwartz.
Now, is there a
Oh, he
reason
drops
for
it
the
on. He
ring?
drops it on Barb's foot.
Oh,
The comedy pain.
Well, what's even better is it's this big fucking throbbing foot.
Flat, just flat like a cartoon.
It's a
It's
total
awesome.
cartoon moment, but it works.
So works.
I like that. There's an upside and a downside. What? Yeah, there's two sides to every.
Two sides to every Schwartz. He got the upside. I got the downside. The upside.
God damn it! I hate it when my Schwartz gets twisted.
Yeah, I see your Schwartz
Give me
is
the
as
ring
big as
quick.
mine. It's like so stupid, but it's funny.
Take care, Brian Barth. Thank you for hanging out. Appreciate it.
Yeah, whoopsie daisy.
Yeah, here's his foot coming up. Yeah.
Oh,
But
it's
it's all
isn't
flat.
it like steaming? Like, isn't it?
It's throbbing, I think, but yeah.
You're like,
Oh,
sorry, Barf.
Sorry, Barf. Oh God!
It's everyone's commitment to the jokes that I think really makes them work.
oh yeah, they got to play him completely straight. Yeah.
They commit so hard, like it's ridiculous. But he just like John Candy's face, like, how could you do that to me? It really works. It makes the joke work.
I see. I like imagine trying to keep a straight face while doing these things. You know, there are definitely redos for a lot of these scenes because you don't get a lot of these scenes right at the first take because you're laughing because you know what you're doing is hilarious. It's ridiculous. You'll just like keep this hard straight face like you're in some black metal band. Like, oh, I got this, guys. It's just like, oh fuck, this is
Dude,
ridiculous.
comedy's hard. It's not
Yeah,
easy to act funny.
I can imagine. I couldn't do this shit.
The best
really
actors
couldn't.
are comedians. I mean, because it's the toughest thing to pull off, right? It's a
Comedy.
good comedy.
Actors
play
don't
it
get
dead
enough credit.
serious.
No, they really
Yeah.
don't get enough credit because they're always don't get on, and it's not to downplay on like action or drama, but for comedy, like I can only imagine they probably had to go through so many outtakes because they're laughing at the ridiculousness of the stuff. They have to hold a very straight face for comedy like this and be like, okay, I had to be serious because
You have to commit to such
Yes.
ridiculous
You-
circumstances. It's really hard. It's not easy.
Mhm,
You know who doesn't get enough credit too, and this is true, is sitcom actors. Like I never was in a sitcom, but I've done sitcom acting like in class. Man, that shit is difficult. Like the lyrical nature of it, the musical nature, and the turns and the big reactions that still need to land somewhere in the realm of authenticity. It's not easy at
Well, that's
all.
where this movie works, and that's where a lot of Mel Brooks movies works, and some of these great because it's the music of the language, right? Like you just listen to the dialogue. We can sit here and recite it. Why? Because it's so well done, and it is that that timing that
Yeah,
it
the
has
rhythm.
to be just right. Yeah, and if you don't do it just right, it's not going to work.
It's not insulting the audience either.
Oh,
It's,
absolutely not.
They're
It's definitely
making you look for the jokes. And
well,
then,
it challenge. Yeah, exactly. I was just going to say it challenges you to keep up
Yeah.
with it. Actually,
And the first time we saw my buddies, is like, I can't believe they're doing this. It's like it says C3PO. You got like Joan Rivers as the robot, and you're just you're just laughing, and like they don't say anything, but it's just hysterical just watching, and that scene, the scene going through the desert. You're like, oh, Star Wars, without overdoing it. He got like you said, Darth Helmet. He's wearing that ridiculous helmet.
There we go. Yeah.
this was the other thing
Never
Gary
said
showed
anything.
us earlier. He has one of the little barf dolls.
Speaking of Gary, I didn't even realize Gary left.
Oh, the other Gary. Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Did he have to check out or?
Gary-
Pop
Where's he
culture
going?
minefield. I'm looking at. Oh man, Gary.
He might have something probably happened to his neck. Then he wouldn't just leave.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say he's not one to just do it. But Gary, if you're out there, man, thanks for hanging out. I guess this will make a quick
He'll probably be
segue.
back, I'm sure.
Be back, Gary.
Try the sauce. I'm soaked in it.
Oh, I could lick you all day long.
And yet,
Mr. Tickle Trunk for $5 says the days they used to give us kids R-rated movies action figures was awesome. From the people that sold lawn darts with kids on the box, of course the kids want this R-rated movie black penis headed alien to play with. Hold on,
Of course, the kids want this R-rated movie, black penis-headed alien to play with. I miss the 80s. Thank you, Mr. Tickle Shark, and thanks for the $5.
I loved my aliens toys, man. Those were awesome.
Scotty
You
beat
like
me
the-
twice last
you-
week. It was
you like-
amazing.
You like the big heads on them?
Big, thick, throbbing heads. Absolutely.
And they had a little head to come with the big head, too?
I'm the little mouth. I just pop out sometimes. I'm gonna go back in.
Oh,
That's my
here.
choice.
Here's
Here's another joke they'd never get away with today.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
She's got like a witch's nose.
We'll
Like,
give
it's
you
so
back
absurd.
your old nose.
This would have been on like headlines for like weeks straight on.
Just what we
like-
needed, a Druish princess. Funny. She didn't look Druish.
I definitely did not get that joke when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah. 1-800-DRUIDIA.
But she has like the
Not the
Mercedes.
nose.
It's so funny.
That's the kind of thing.
If at all possible, try to save the car.
That's the same password as my luggage.
1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4.
I
1,
bet
2,
she
3,
gives
4, 5.
great
That's
helmet.
the kind of combination an idiot would have in his luggage.
That's the combination I got my
1,
luggage.
2,
What was
3,
it?
4,
Was this
5.
rated PG?
Yes,
It was.
yes.
That a blowjob joke in a PG movie. That is.
They got
that's-
away with a lot in this movie. They even
Well
got away with an
done.
F word, believe it or not.
What was the F word?
Fuck it. Even in the future, nothing works.
Oh, that's right. Even in the future, nothing works. A great line. And I love that they have like just M16s. Like that was there, just like spray painted.
Yeah, then we missed that. And that was such a simple joke, but it's so hilarious. It's like, you turned off the movie.
Yeah.
And then the stunt double joke.
You
is
weak
another-
bastard,
The
there's
stunt double one's
doubles. It's great.
Because
I like-
at first
and
you're thinking,
Princess
what the hell's
Vespa's a
going on
guy.
here? Yeah.
Princess Vespa's a dude.
Oh, dude, with
And
the
the cigar,
dude
no
voice
less.
singing.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm
that's
thinking,
right.
watching it, thinking, how
She's
did they
a
get away with
beast.
this? And I didn't realize,
Dude,
it was
between
stunt
the
doubles.
ugly nose and the
Yeah.
little comb for fellow black men, and the fact that they had her sing like a man, straight man, like I was just like, wow, this movie reeks of cancellation on so many levels. Oh god, I laughed my ass off at this thing because you see Barf grab that one thing that redirects the bullets right at them.
Oh, that's right. And it has like a video game sound, like blink, 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 blink.
Yeah, it does. Oh man,
I love that they gave the laser blast like a machine gun sound. I thought that was great. Like when she takes two
That's
of them
right.
and she goes like all Stallone on them.
Yeah.
It was really badass. It was like even in that
What's
moment.
the difference between the Spaceballs guys with the black helmets and the ones with the white helmets? Because these all got black helmets now.
they all do that.
I guess they're because they're in the
Well,
prison.
these are the
it's
Super
prison system.
Troopers.
Maybe they're
Yeah.
blackballed.
Black balls.
Where's
Where's the blue? Where's the blue helmets then?
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Like the scene, like you can remember the scene from Star Wars, right? You know, shooting down the hallway. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
the same, and the
idiot!
doors are closing.
Captured their stunt doubles.
Yeah, I couldn't figure this out when I watched it the first time.
Okay, Matt.
How did they do
What's
this?
his face? He's a great comedian too. I can't think
Yeah.
of his name.
That's Ned Ryerson from.
Yes, I know,
Groundhog
and I
Day.
can't think of his damn name.
Ned
Seriously.
Ryerson.
How do you wear those things on your ass and then see other dudes with those things on their ass and think, man, we have to be serious in these suits?
I told you, never have that thing down in front of me. I don't even know if you're making faces at me under there.
Dude, it's a,
And then he is.
vacuum cleaner. It's a vacuum cleaner.
She's gone
couldn't
from
walk.
stuck to
Ooh.
blow.
The shit's so big, if I'd have walked, the movie'd been over.
Another blowjob joke.
Oh my god.
Yes, there's a few.
But you don't
blowjob
know that it is directly. That's the beauty of it, right? You know, it's like
Mhm.
it's that
He's gone
double
from
entendre.
stuck
So it's
to blow.
yeah.
I bet she gives great helmet.
Seriously, that line will never get old. She gives great helmet.
I took the liberty of letting him know, sir. What? You went over my helmet?
No,
Oh, no, not to say over, sir. More to the side. It'll never happen again.
No,
How do you
not
say-
that. No, anything but that.
And,
Yeah.
and they do the misdirect where he grabs his throat like it's Star Wars, and he goes for his balls.
Yeah.
Oh!
Well, I think I
That's
was
so great.
away when I missed the Michael Winslow scene. I was away, I'm sure. So
You,
yeah,
you
that
did.
was way
I
early
think,
on.
yeah, we
It's
had it.
okay.
We lost the bleeps, we lost the creeps, and we lost the sweeps. The what? The what? And the what?
You know, the bleep.
It's just well, the
That's a total like. That's exactly what we're talking about, like the music and the language, right? Because that's a total like Three Stooges, Abbott and Costello bit, right?
Mel Brooks does that with the music stuff a lot, though. The like having the instruments there. He did it in
On off
the one with the orchestra and the coach next to them, the bus next to them.
boom, 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 boom.
Holy shit, you guys are crazy in the chat tonight.
Yeah,
We're almost through the movie.
The,
It's
the
almost over
chat is
already.
just
Great
going
chat
nuts
tonight.
with sending these super chats. You guys are nuts,
Just-
man.
But by the way, just the visual gag that it's a maid with a vacuum cleaner,
That's
that's how
right.
they're going to get the air out. Like, it's
There's
so
got to be an
silly.
easier way.
Now, did they make an action figure of that, like where the ship turns into the maid with the vacuum
Oh, what
cleaner?
a transformer that would
No,
be.
they have never done action figures for this.
Oh God, no! This would have been once
I'd buy
again. I'd buy a few of them.
No, that was, I don't know if you missed that or not, but that was one of the stipulations from George Lucas is they could not.
Yeah.
do merchandise.
Yeah,
Could
no
not do
merch.
it, yeah.
Merchandise.
So then you got a black market shirt, then Tom.
No, like I said, after for some reason after
The Vulcan
Disney,
neck bench.
Well, like action
What
figures.
the hell are you doing?
I think it'd be
The
hard to stop
Vulcan neck
T-shirts
bench?
from being made. I mean, it's
well, no, like
No,
I got
stupid.
this
You got it
from,
way too high. It's down here where the shoulder
Go
meets
on,
the neck.
Tom.
Like
Go
this?
ahead, Tom.
Yeah.
No, like I said, I did get this from a legitimate place, and there is some merchandise out there now. It happened after Disney bought Star Wars.
Okay.
But buying a Spaceballs T-shirt isn't going to stop somebody buying a Star Wars T-shirt. It's
No, well, I think
action
now-
figures are different. I think action.
See,
figures
Disney don't give a shit, and there was a short time period there until now that MGM is owned by Amazon. There was a time there when Fox and MGM were kind of cohabitational because MGM would use Fox for distribution. So there was a time period where this movie was technically under Fox.
Yeah, wasn't the first Star Wars was it wasn't streaming or it was distributed by Fox, right? So it was something I remember was separate from the other.
That was a
deals,
totally different thing before. That was because when they sold, see, George Lucas never 100% owned the entire rights to the first Star Wars movie. He eventually got almost all of them back down the road, but Fox still had distribution rights on the first Star Wars movie until, well, basically now they're all under the same roof, even through until Disney bought it. And then there was also another deal. The streaming deal is something I think you're separately talking about. That was a deal that he had made with some, like, whoever it was that owned Spike. I think it was FX or whatever, or something like that, or some other company that owned the streaming rights. So until they bought Fox, that too was another thing that was until like 2024 or something like that was under they had the rights for streaming, but now that's all cleared up. So,
Yep.
I think it was FX. That's why.
Wow, talk about complications.
Yeah, it was pretty complicated. Yeah, well,
And there goes the toxic man flew for another $10. You generous toxic flew.
Or maybe it was the USA Network. I don't remember which, but yeah.
Tox for $10 says, I wonder how many Virgin alarms Foulball set off in high school. I also bet he is Jewish. Also, Stephen Tobolowsky is the Ned Ryerson actor.
Thank you.
Ah.
Couldn't think of his name.
A lot accomplished in that super chat.
Hey,
Gary with the
Larry's
J is back.
Hey guys, sorry about that. I'm actually running on my phone right now.
Wow.
I plugged my phone in, so we have no internet.
we figured you wouldn't leave just without saying something, so we
Yeah, it's
figured
just
something
like
would happen.
Internet died instantly. But I wanted to say I'm going to go because
okay.
I'm
good, dude.
running on my data and I don't want to go over on it.
Well, hey, plug what you got coming out this week. We'll let you go. Plug what you got coming out.
Well, I just uploaded the new episode of the Scoop Zone, which we cover Mikey Sutton's Geekosity and all the latest news and rumors and shit off of his website, and we analyze it. And of course, I'm a fucking asshole on the show and just make fun of things. And but you can get some good analysis from 24/7 Fusion Media and Keith, while I just sit there and do my thing. And then Friday TGIF, we don't have any guests right now. It may be another free-for-all weekend if Tom's not too busy or if he's not running his show into ours at the same time. I might get him to join.
No guarantees there, buddy.
I know, man. I know. You guys run long and it just fucking happens. I love it, though. You can always tell when your show ends, all of a sudden our numbers start going up. All the people from your show start.
I'm glad to see how good you guys have been doing lately over there. It's awesome.
Yeah, we're getting good numbers. And, but you know, I like doing this show. This is a relaxation for me to come over and join you guys here. So I really like and Nick is just one of those guys I've always wanted to be on a show with, and so finally to do it.
Thank you, man. Hey,
the only person I can't stand is Foul Ball because God, he fucking knows it. Oh, is he still here? Oh,
consider yourself one of the toxic ones, Gary. You're part of the toxic club now.
I am toxic, dude. I'm so toxic. People just look at me and go, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Why do you say those things?"
Well, Gary, it's been fun hanging out with you. I'll send you a message after the show on next week's flick. But meanwhile, I'm gonna have Thanos punch you on the way out. All right.
All right, buddy.
Take care.
Thanks,
Good night.
guys. I'll see y'all later. Yeti. Fuck you, Yeti.
I love that every single time.
It never gets
old.
No, her face is just like, whoa, and then just gets cracked. It's awesome.
There's a
How'd that
clip
get in the movie?
The Critical Draker added to his video for the when he did a reaction to Miss Marvel. He added that clip of Thanos decking Captain Marvel in his video and had the audience go off after it happened.
That's great.
Sorry. This is the scene from that's the escape pod from Star Wars.
Where the little handles go click.
Yep.
I remember that like vividly from the original, and seeing it there was great nerd nostalgia. There's a great line too when they're like evacuating and they're like, all the pet shops, cancel all the three ring circus, get all the animals out of the zoo.
Well, it's actually unused footage from New Hope.
Yeah. Believe that or not, dude. I've learned that there's unused footage from New Hope, but then you see everyone from the circus to animals.
Back here, you fat bearded bitch!
Once again, another cancelable line.
The self-destruct bit.
You guys were right. This actually is like more than I realized. Like I didn't watch it just watch it enjoy the moment.
Just kidding.
And now we're getting female dwarves in Lord of the Rings without beards.
What happened to 7? That's great.
Have a nice day. Thank you. Thank you.
And they go back to holding each other.
There's things coming out of her nose.
Oh man.
What are they? Spaceballs.
Well, hello.
Oh shit.
Space
There goes the planet. I'll have the soup.
They'll have the cleavage space.
And then his tail goes up there.
We're all thinking that. We're all thinking that.
His tail takes a tour.
I do love these old 80s movies too, where they just cast these extras that are like supermodels. Like they just had like one line.
The John Hurt thing.
Oh no!
He thought he was just doing a walk-on cameo, and he ended up doing the whole recreation of Alien.
And you got like the guy that looks like the black dude from Aliens. I can't think of his name. Yaphet. Yeah, like they have. And she looks like Ripley.
Yeah, they've got the kind of simulation.
Like the one guy who's like, "Fuck the doctor, get this guy some Pepto-Bismol."
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. It's quite an achievement to get John Hurt to come and do this. It's really the only big cameo in the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Marks 47, to answer your question, well, we talked about earlier, and I did miss the initial shot in the movie. Mr. Tom here was ever so generous to present to us where it was, and my mind was blown away and very impressed. And also, he pointed out Han and Chewie as well. So,
wait, I didn't know.
The more you know. Oh man! See, once again, Tom's just got that Hawkeye. So no wonder he caught it.
There's a Millennium Falcon. Like where? Like what are they? Like what?
Hey, if he wants to share it, he's welcome to share it again if he's got it. I don't want to make you share if it's not accessible.
It's an intimate picture.
See, it's a very
be careful what you
Oh.
share. Yeah.
That's awesome. I didn't know they put the Millennium Falcon in Spaceballs.
Yeah,
That
actually,
rules.
because ILM did a bunch of the effects. So because George Lucas loved this movie, so as a little joke, he had him put in the Millennium Falcon.
That's amazing.
Yep.
And here it is.
I'll get ready to share it.
At the very beginning of this scene here.
Oh, no way.
And then you see the two little figures down there by in front of it. Yeah.
That's, Oh, and look to the right. They got one of those droid ships from the prequels.
Kind of looks like one.
Kind of looks like the ones that walk in the Phantom Menace. No,
a little bit.
For me, Matt, it was all about catching 76, the gas station. That was my takeaway since I was the normie going into this. So I was just
that's funny. That's a good gag too. But that's awesome. The Millennium Falcon, that rules.
Mm-hmm.
And with the right antenna, the round antenna, right? Not that stupid rectangular antenna. I'm like, what's wrong with the Galaxy's Edge? I'm like, they got the wrong antenna on the ship in Galaxy's Edge. Come on.
They got the wrong everything.
That's the least of the
wrong
problems
everything.
there.
Yeah, that's the least.
And they also got the little figures down there, which are Chewie and Han. Yeah.
That's awesome. What a cool detail.
The space
RC,
shuttle.
you're right. We just did a time jump, so we're actually doing the show again now.
All right, hold up. Before we do, I got to show off. I got to be a show off real quick, so forgive me here.
Ooh.
Oh,
Pizza
okay.
Pizza the Hut. Pizza the Hut.
I think this is it's definitely not pizza. I think this is DiGiorno because it's definitely
That's
not
what it looks
Screaming
like.
Sicilian. So no.
I like your rocking the open shirt
Just
there.
don't
Nick.
get any of those
Oh,
hairs
shirt.
caught in it.
It's a Rambo shirt.
He's got something for the
It
ladies
is
too.
a Rambo
Got
shirt.
the
It
shirt.
That's a
is.
fucking
No,
sweet ass
I
shirt.
do that. I do this for the dudes.
I want that shirt.
What is this? Why I'm surprised
course
Matt
you
isn't
do.
here for this.
That's
Yeah,
the most
Matt-
toxic thing that's ever been on this show, Nick.
Yeah,
Toxic Man Flu is going to come up with another super chat about Nick's chest here, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
In a few seconds, they'll come up with something good. Yep.
Pizza the Hut.
All right. Hopefully that clears up everything for you, RC. Where we're at now. We just had to show something for Mr. Marks 47. But let's carry forward, gents, as I eat some pizza.
I wish we could play the music from this too.
I never noticed. I never noticed that the rest of them look like the crew from Aliens.
I never really noticed that either. That's weird. The number
That's
of
a
times
funny
I've seen it.
detail.
Really?
Yeah, I never picked up on that. That's really
Hello,
clever.
my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my gal. Let me kiss my wife. Baby, my heart's on fire.
Whenever I see Alien now, I always think of this scene.
If you ever miss me, honey, you'll leave me, and you'll be left alone. Oh, baby, telephone and tell me I'm your own.
I had a great experience watching the Aliens chestburster scene, or Alien chestburster scene with a girl who had never seen it and was like younger. She was at the time, I think, like 22, and didn't grow up with all the pop culture references of it. And she was completely shocked when it burst out of his chest. She had like the authentic reaction that everyone had in the theater back in the 70s. I was like, oh, cool. You didn't know that was going to happen?
Bitches crying in the fucking aisle and shit when that happened.
God, yeah.
Yeah. And she went, oh, like she had like a jolt. I was like, oh, no way. You didn't know that? Yeah, cool.
There's people didn't that even make people puke and shit?
There was
I think,
people puking, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was
People left the cinema when I was
Oh, yeah.
watching it for the first time. There was couples going.
Between that, The Exorcist, and Jaws were the three
Yeah.
movies that people just
made me want to go back and see it again
in the
next
70s
day.
anyway. Yeah.
I guess the opening credits of 7 like messed people up too. But
Oh, I can see that, but I'm talking about like just back then. I remember
That's a big shock. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jaws was a big one back in the day that scared the
Yeah,
hell
and the
out of me.
thing with the guy getting his arms cut off in the thing. That's another similar.
They
one.
actually have footage out there of a big audience watching Jaws. Like I think it's at one of the premieres or something like that, and you can see them just freaking the fuck out. It's hilarious.
Well, that summer I was learning to sail like at a sailing camp, or it was a camp, and like you could sail in these little dinghies, and I was like 10 or whatever, and the counselors all left us in the boat. when they had a boombox. They're playing the music from Jaws. They're like, well, there's a lot of sharks
Sure.
out here. We had no idea how to fucking sail, and we're like, think we're gonna capsize.
Now,
And they're playing the
kind
music.
of counselors you want, not the today's SJW.
Oh God!
versions.
Yeah, could
you
you
want
imagine?
those
Yeah.
people?
I went home to mom and like,
See if
was
we can
crying.
torture these kids in our care.
D-Bud's probably right though. The Exorcist is probably the most walkouts. There's footage of people walking out of that shit, shaking, crying. They had people that passed out. They had to drag out of the theater and shit. And
not sure what they expected.
There was people that would try to break into the booth to
Steal
burn
the
the
film.
film
Mm.
because they were
Wow.
because they thought it was possessed by the devil. Yeah.
Yeah.
That wasn't a
Wow.
big movie for Catholic school kids back in the day. Actually, one of
love
my
that
buddies, his dad was second unit on that film. So I got
Really?
some stories.
Cool.
Yeah.
The Exorcist is one of my favorites, man. It's just
So
pure cinema.
Pure
it was amazing. Yep, you're right. Amazing. It scared the shit out of me to this day. I have trouble watching that movie. So,
But did
Yeah, that movie still.
But
scares
did it
me.
scare you more than the existence of Captain Marvel?
Your mother sucks cocks in hell.
The Exorcist is scary. Captain Marvel's just gross.
All right, Toxic Man Flu for $10 says Nickweiser flavor number 29. Nick's exposed chest fur pie. Oh.
sorry, Toxic. I didn't mean to cost you $10 but I knew you could count on him to come up with something good. So
Oh, that's so
Liquid
nasty.
Schwartz.
Oh, yeah, Liquid Schwartz.
Hang on, Barf. We're gonna make space tracks.
pouring those midichlorians into the tank.
I just thought they spelled Schlitz wrong.
Oh, my face hurts.
And don't they literally make space tracks? Doesn't it go?
Yeah.
Like there's tires. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another
I
great
love
visual
this
gag.
bit.
Oh yeah.
I was trying to
Planet
figure
of
out
the
because
Apes.
there's actually a famous actor. I'm trying to remember which one playing one of the apes, uncredited.
That's
York?
hilarious.
Michael York. Does that sound about right?
Could be him. Yeah,
I think
it was.
so.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, is that the guy from Logan's Run?
Yes.
Yes, I think so. I think that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
He's the one that goes, "Oh shit, there goes the planet."
The author of Logan's Run passed away last year.
Oh, that's
wow.
not bad.
And actually, I met him in like 2012. I was at a book publisher party in Las Vegas, and some friends of mine were there for their publishing company, and I was just kind of along for the party. I guess it wasn't much of a party. I'm just like sitting in a chair by myself, and this old dude just comes and walks over and sits next to me and starts telling me about how I remind him of his buddy who used to work for Playboy and was a photographer and all this stuff, and he had went to the mansion and all that stuff, and he was like, and I'm like sitting like, who the fuck is this guy? And he was like, oh, my name's William F. Nolan.
Right.
And we're talking about like, we knew Gene Roddenberry and all that stuff.
Wow.
Nice.
You know, I didn't even know this until now because I was looking for the actor because I'm pretty sure it was Michael York, but I'm not finding it in here. I have to keep looking harder. But I did not know this. The novelization for this film was written by R.L. Stein.
What?
No.
What?
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm gonna freaking my head's gonna explode like Dave Chappelle when he unmasked to the KKK explode.
What's even weirder is they had a novelization for it.
That is weird.
That's the first thing that came to my head. Not so much the authors. Like, wait, what?
Yeah, I held back my reaction just because I knew you were going somewhere, but I was like, "There's a novel of Spaceballs."
I know, right? They put novelizations for everything back then, man.
My mind
Prince
is
Valium.
Prince Valium.
trying to process what I just heard. R.L.
And I believe this would be before RL was doing all the horror books.
Goosebumps.
So,
Yeah. Dude, that
So
was
I wonder
like
if he
my
wrote it
gateway.
as I wonder if he wrote it as a comedic book or whether he actually tried to. Make
Oh,
it
I'm
a
sure
little
they
bit
did.
more-
I mean, they said the only thing that's in here about it is there's an extra scene in the book where it says in the novelization by R.L. Stein, there's an extra scene before Lone Star returns to Vespa to her home planet towards the end of the story. He overhears her in the intercom saying that she refuses to marry Prince Valium because she loves Lone Star, but he decides she shouldn't give up on being a princess to be with a space bum like himself. So he pretends to tell Barf that he's not interested in her, only for her and only her in her money, in a way that Vespa can overhear. Later, when Vespa learns that Lone Star didn't take all the money, but only enough to cover the expenses, she realizes it was all an act, and that he loved her after all. That was the whole tie into the whole money thing. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, Spaceballs, the book.
Yeah, I was just gonna say
It also says in
the
the
book.
Yeah, okay, that was the same thing. Okay, never mind. Yep. Yeah, Spaceballs, the book. Yeah,
that's great.
I remember I bought Terminator 2, the book, and it had like the deleted scenes.
Yeah, there's I remember having that one. Yeah, well, that's another reason why I loved buying the novelizations, because they're always based on usually like whatever the working script was at the time, and they usually rush those out before the movie. So like a lot of times there was tons of stuff that wasn't in the movie that was.
So you've read the Spaceballs novelization?
No, I didn't know about it until now.
Because
actually.
I'm wondering just how they translate the visual gags.
That's what I'm curious about, and I'm gonna have to find this book. I really do. I didn't even know there was one until today either.
It's on Amazon.
Oh, you'll have to snag that book.
It's $34.
Holy moly!
Wow. Do they have a digital version?
No, it's only print.
Of course.
I know a really good database that you can get digital versions of books.
Oh yeah.
May the Schwartz be with you.
You may be able to find it like at half price books. Or
I was
something.
thinking that or eBay maybe, but yeah.
Oh, what a flick! All right, we got another one from our ever so awesome Canadian
Also, Ronnie Graham co-wrote it. He was the priest there, or wasn't he?
Try the sauce. I'm soaked in it.
Oh, I could lick you all day long.
That would be Mr. Tickle Trunk for $3.50. Thank you, sir. When the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie was out, a guy dressed as Leatherface chased people in the theater revving a bladeless chainsaw. My aunt told me about people losing their minds in the aisles trying to break the locked doors. Again, I miss the A's. Dude, that is so fucking crazy.
Yeah, I forgot. The original Texas Chainsaw was a heavy duty one. Yeah, I forgot. It also says here in the book.
It was a duty.
It was a heavy duty one. Yeah.
Duty.
It also says here in Spaceballs, the book, the dinks have names: Rinky Dink, Blinky Dink, Stinky Dink, Pinky Dink, Stinky Dink, and Winky Dink.
And of course, DINK stands for double income, no kids.
Well, I mean, it's like, so you're watching a movie, like we watch almost everything with subtitles, and then it'll like, sometimes you're watching something that they never mention a character's name, and then the subtitles will mention the name. You're like, oh.
It's kind of like Gremlins 2. All those Gremlins have names. And if you didn't get either one of the novelizations or the Topps cards or the books, then you had no idea what their names were. But they all had names, yeah. Like the goofy-eyed one is Daffy. The grumpy looking one with the doofy looking one are Lenny and Carl. And then Mohawk is the main bad guy.
I just love that one of those dinks is named Stinky Dink.
Yeah, Stinky Dink and Winky Dink.
It's like a Garbage Pail Kids.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess this is that part where we do our roundabouts. For those who are new to the chat, we like to do our scores. Not just 1 out of 10 in the quality of the movie, but also 1 out of 10 where it ranks in toxicity as well, as far as being a toxic flick. So many of you in the chat are also familiar with this. So sound off on your scores. And for the panel, we'll start off with Imperatus. Where do you rank this in toxicity and in greatness?
In greatness, it's a 9 out of 10. Like I said, Mel Brooks is one of my favorite comedic directors of all time. For me, like the late 90s, right out of high school, early college years, me and the guys would get together, get a case of beer, a bag of smoke, order a couple pizzas, and we just go through a bunch of Mel Brooks movies. And we would do that once every couple of months, if not every month. So I have just good memories of just sitting back with friends I had, still have to this day, and just laughing our ever-loving asses off. As far as toxicity, I would say at the time when it came out, 87,
it wasn't really that toxic. At the time, I would say it was probably like a 7.5 on the toxicity scale. Nowadays, as was stated multiple times tonight, there's so many jokes in this movie you could not do. So in modern day toxicity, I would say it's probably a 9 out of 10.
Okay, that's a fair thought score. Cool, awesome. Well, thank you, sir. Dustin, sound off on your scores of greatness.
Greatness score, I think, out of comedies, I think it's a 10 out of 10. As far as, I think it's one of those movies, like I don't remember watching it for the first time, but I don't remember not knowing about it. So it's kind of like you don't remember meeting your mom for the first time, you know what I mean? But you just know her, you know what I mean? Like it's like family. As far as toxicity, I don't think it's very toxic. I mean, yeah, there's some jokes that probably wouldn't fly today, but I mean, to me, it's all like middle school humor. There's nothing in there that's like super risque. There's nothing in there.
There's a bit of racial humor in there.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still like more innocent, like jabs, and not like, they're punching up, if you will, right?
Okay.
To a point.
Yeah. All right.
I think, yeah. So I think the toxicity, I'd probably give it like a 3 or 4.
Well, Talk says he has something to remember about meetings, so you can. So that's where he says it. Yeah, rabbit slug out. She says family.
I hope you had a good time.
Oh my god! Anything else, sir?
Oh, I'm good, man.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Mr. Mark D with a C. Sound off on your score, sir.
Sure. So I give this like a 9.5 out of 10. I mean, it's always fun to watch this movie. I mean, it's hysterical, great. I mean, it holds up as a movie too, as everyone's been saying. Not just the parody. Like the parody is hysterical and doesn't bang you over the head, but it's just I mean, all the gags are just so much fun. I saw Star Wars as a kid in the theater, so and that was just such a huge part of your childhood. And then to watch this movie, and like everyone's saying, like you just pop this back in the day was pop the video, VHS in and grab a few beers and some pizza and just have a good laugh. It's one of those movies, just have a great time watching, and all the gags are great. And God bless Mel Brooks. And toxicity, I'm going to give it. I agree, it's not that toxic, but by today's standards, I don't think there's a bunch of jokes that wouldn't have made it in here, right? So we're losing our sense of humor now with all this PC crap and cancel culture and everyone with microaggressions and little shit that no one can laugh at themselves. I mean, could you make Blazing Saddles today? So maybe I give it like
absolutely not.
Absolutely not, right? So I give this like an 8 basically because of what's going on today in the world, where you can't have these fun movies where everyone just laughs about themselves and and has a good time.
Fucking toxic, man.
God bless toxic.
Best 35 seconds of sexual disappointment, but years and years of strife after the child.
Right? Oh, God bless him. What a way.
35 seconds was twice as long as normal. Then
we need toxic to become to write some movies for us. Yeah. But this movie. If you haven't, if you're like Nick and almost had his geek card revoked, someone said in the chat, go see this movie while you still can. Right, buy physical media because this is one of the ones that might, who knows what movies will disappear. So this is a all-time classic.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you, sir. Mark, appreciate that. Yeah, Tom.
Wow. I mean, as far as the movie scale, I mean, it's a damn near perfect movie. It's my favorite Mel Brooks movie. The only thing it's probably missing is, sadly, Marty Feldman and Gene Wilder, of course. But outside of that, I mean, that's a great fucking flick in my top 5 probably comedies of all time. Still holds up to this day. I remember seeing it. It has kind of a weird place for me in my history because when the first time I saw it on video, for some reason I remember it being one of the worst flus I ever had as a kid when I saw this movie. But this movie, I still, even though I was sick as a fucking dog, I loved this movie and watched it like 3 times before my dad took it back to the video store. And then before we moved, for my first and only home I remember as a kid, this was the last movie I rented from the video store. So it has like that special place for me in that sense. Like I remember it being the last thing watching as, people are moving shit out of our house. I'm just sitting here watching this movie, and it was the last thing I remember watching at that place. It was just kind of weird. So yeah, it's kind of how it holds a weird place for me in that sense. So it's kind of one of those movies that and I've seen it enough times I can almost say it verbatim, obviously. And so yeah, definitely a 9.5 or a 10 out of 10 easy. On the toxicity scale, though, yeah, I totally agree with you guys. As far as at the time it came out, very, very, benign. Like there's a lot of this stuff you would see in standard cartoons. But now definitely much higher. So yeah, I guess I gotta agree a little bit with it. Outside of the racial humor, it's not as toxic as most Mel Brooks films or even most comedies of that era. So I'd probably give it about 7.5 or an 8 on the toxicity scale. But like you guys said, if you're going by today's standards, it's definitely a 10 out of 10. Yeah. But that's not hard to do. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
right?
no, you're right. Killer. Well, thank you, Tom. Now, Matt, sir, sound off.
Well, I will 100% give this movie a 10 out of 10 for quality because this is easily one of my favorite movies ever. I grew up watching it, like me and my cousin. I feel like every time we got together, we put it on. It was just always on when I was a kid. Like one of my favorite movies. Where I first watched it at a sleepover with my buddies, and I don't even know until I was 20. It was like something I had on constantly. So it was one of my favorites.
that's what's great. This is definitely a sleepover movie. I like that. Yeah.
100%. And it's just so great. And it aged incredibly well. Like we're getting kicked out of these jokes even now. So 10 out of 10 for sure. As far as the toxicity is concerned, though, like I don't feel like looking back on it, it was like one of those movies that I shouldn't have seen as a kid. Like I think it's perfect for young kids. I think the jokes are still benign. Like they slip through the blowjob jokes, but they're very, they're like it's like a Pixar movie, like where there's jokes for adults. It's not toxic, and I will not use these woke SJW scale for toxicity on what I think is toxic. So I'm still going with like a 2 or 3, maybe, because I won't capitulate. So yeah, 10 out of 10, 2 out of 10 for toxicity.
Okay, no, that's fair. It's all good. All good, bro. All good. All good. We're going to try to knock out these scores here. Maybe Human, 10 out of 10. Ishaj, 9 out of 9. RC, Toxicity, 8.5. Overall, 9. Pulp Metallicus, 10 for a movie. Toxicity off the charts. Ooh, everyone's disagreeing with the panel on the toxicity. Rob Altus, a 9 on Toxicity, 9 overall. Keely Chow, movie, 10. Toxicity,
Keely
9.
Chow.
Yeti Cast is he's technically a panelist, is 0 for toxicity, 9.5 for
Oh,
comedy.
he gives it a 0 for toxicity? Wow.
Yeah. And then Brahma Bull says 7 out of 10 overall. It's fun. Toxicity, a 9. Deleted Seeds, 8.5 to 9 on toxicity. 4 toxicity for 2022 standards. Okay, we got some adjusting standards here. And Raquel, how you doing, Raquel? Toxicity, 8. Comedy, 9. Soul Assassin, 10 for toxicity. 3 out of 5. Handy Randy's, not enough Randy, enough for the film. 10 out of 10 movie. Toxic Man Food, the best 35 seconds of sexual disappointment your mom ever had. I had to. That was an opportunity. And I think that's it for the scores. Yeah, those are our scores. Thanks, guys, for the Vince Womack, 8 out of 10. Magic Mags for 69 out of 10. The lovely Cher. How's it going, Sherry? 9 out of 10. D-Bud, 9.5. Overall, 3 for toxicity. Tox is 1987 standards because there are no others. 10 out of 10 and 5 out of 10 for toxicity. Anan Almas, 10 out of 10. 7 out of 10. Wow. You read that backwards, Bouquet. Well, I apologize for misreading that. And then Mr. Rangel here. 10 out of 10 for the movie, 0 out of 10 for toxicity, and 9 out of 10 from Klobby with a 7 for the toxicity. And we got Toxic Man Flu for $5. Says Matt's next commercial gig will be Spaceballs, the ball wash. Let's smack those balls. And then deleted scenes for $1.99. Says great movie. Great show. great panel.
Try the sauce. I'm soaked in it.
Oh, I could lick you all day long.
Thank you guys, deleted scenes and talks for that. And guys, thank you in the chat. This has been a fucking awesome show. This was absolutely badass.
I could give you my scores too if you're interested.
Oh, did I miss you? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't get mine actually. Yeah, I didn't get mine. So okay, no 70s. Go ahead and go for it.
So Mel Brooks is to be treasured forever, and he was on a great run in the 70s and 80s. Though I mean, he made some fantastic movies. I think in the pantheon of Mel Brooks movies, it's not my absolute favorite. I mean, I would always go for Blazing Saddles and The Producers, slightly over this, but I think it's one of the greatest parodies, if not the greatest parody ever made. I think I'd give it an 8.5 out of 10. For this overall score. Toxicity, I mean, it's not that toxic particularly. I'd say 5 out of 10, but for a PG, it's 10 out of 10.
PG, it's a 10.
For a PG movie, it's 10 out of 10. I mean, your helmet is so big.
Hell yeah, dude. Gives
So
great helmet.
Because I have money and power, and you're a Jewish princess. and you-
Moving from suck to blow, you know. For a PG movie, it's 10 out of 10 toxicity.
All right, and Death Angel says, personally, 7 out of 10, not toxic at all. And Punk Waddle for a 9 out of quality, 5 pepperonis out of 5 strategically placed meat to keep the pizza, the hut, passing the sensors. So I'm going to go with a 9.4 for the quality of the movie, 9.4. And the toxicity, now that Dustin brought up the context of old school toxicity, I guess I would go with a 5. And then by today's standards, I would say, yeah, it's definitely up. I would give it probably an 8 in modern standards. An 8 in modern standards would be the score for that. So that's Spaceballs, guys. And did the main toxic change? You changed. Nothing changed about toxic. This is all our opinions, bro. But you guys in the chat, thank you for coming around with the new faces. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. Hopefully you like more. Thank you and come again for more, because next week we'll be talking Caddyshack.
Nice.
Rodney Dangerfield
Yeah.
so
Classic.
yeah.
I thought you were going to go with Blazing Saddles. You surprised me.
Yeah, no, I almost did that, but I didn't want to get predictable. I needed to keep
I
you
like
guys
that.
on your feet. So I knew this would be a good one.
We're all sitting in our chairs, Nick.
I know. God, let me have this one, damn it.
No puking in my Porsche. Come on. Caddyshack.
Yes, I did find one. And yes, guys, in case you're all wondering in the chat, I have seen Caddyshack. Don't worry. You don't need to strangle me again. All right? You don't need to strangle me again. And I see Cavatinos go 9 out of 10 toxicity, 68, and I owe you one.
So does everyone have to bring Baby Ruths to the show next week?
Yes. I'm bringing one.
Yeah,
I'm
so
serious,
Die
I'm
Hard was
bringing one.
Twinkies. Yeah, we all better get some Baby Ruths.
I'm gonna bring a Baby Ruth. That's my plan. So that's all she wrote, and we'll plug in the channels. And to make up for my imbalance, I'll let that 70s rock fan go first.
Why, thank you, sir. Great show again. Right. Thanks for letting me be here. Great panel. The chat was on fire. This is always such a pleasure. It's a great night of the week. Love it. Yeah, so I will be, as Nick mentioned at the very beginning, he and I will be on Thursday appearing on Pope Metallica's first channel to review the new Saxon album Carpe Diem, which I would thoroughly recommend, both the show and the album.
Mm-hmm.
Friday, I will be with my esteemed friend on this panel, Matt, Foulball Productions, on the MFR Cocktail Lounge.
Hell.
I know. Good stuff. And next Monday, I'll be back to doing my regular weekly It's Only Talk and Roll show, 2 p.m. Pacific. And next week's going to be a special where I'm giving over the entire show to talk about The Who. It's going to be all
Awesome.
Who, all show. Greatest rock and roll band in history. So,
them is fighting words. Yep,
it's fighting words, but I'm going to
better than 30 Seconds to Mars.
Just better, just outside. So there'll be some good guests on that want to talk about the Magnificent Who. So look forward to seeing you there.
Hey, 70, thank you, sir, as always, for your wonderful insights. And I will see you Thursday afternoon as we talk about this badass new album from Saxon and Death Angel Shadow. Yes, Saxon does have a new album, came out last month. It's their 23rd album titled Carpe Diem. Look it up. It is fucking awesome and it rips hard. And the fact that they can put out 23 albums and still be kick-asses, that's an understatement. So look them up. And it's for those in the chat wondering, traditional heavy metal, the vein of, Accept, Warlock, Priest, Maiden type of bands. They're definitely the second wave after like Dio era Sabbath. So look them up, guys. They're worth it. I'll post a link on my Gilded for you guys to check it out. Anyways, and Mr. Tom.
That's going awesome.
That's awesome. That's Tom's plug.
I'm ready.
All right, he's ready to plug up. Well, Tom,
No, I'm ready for Caddyshack. Let's go.
Oh, you're ready for Cat? Oh, you hear that? He doesn't even care to plug. He's just like, fucking bring
Tom
on
doesn't want to plug
Caddyshack.
doesn't want to plug himself. I'd like to plug that magnificent set of videos he did for Midnight's Edge about He-Man. Brilliant stuff.
Plug
Brilliant.
it for him, 70s. Plug in.
Oh, absolutely. It just the insight and the detail that have gone into those. I think I heard you saying you were going to put them together as a complete documentary because it's top quality stuff, mate. So
That was kind of the idea, but we'll see exactly how it's going to fit together because there's going to be some redundancies. We might have to edit around it, but yeah.
What was it? What was the topic?
The whole He-Man.
He-Man.
It's just a retrospective of the entire, from toy to TV show to movie to beyond, up till we're covering the whole entire thing. So we just dropped our huge one on the movie. So
he dropped.
So I just recommend everyone to go and look at those.
I actually love that movie.
4 parts, I think.
All right,
we're at 4 parts now. It'll probably end up being 6 or 7 by the time it's done. I bet
you're going Mauler style.
All right, you heard the man, guys. You're all on here. There's no way you're all are in this chat not sub to Midnight's Edge After Dark, and Mead Radio on top of it.
Which
so make
I
sure
might be doing
Mead
here in
Radio.
about maybe.
Oh, you heard the man, guys. Mead Radio. So for those who are still not done partying, that's where you go follow Tom at. Well, Tom, thank you. Look forward to Caddyshack next
Maybe
week.
even sooner if we get out of here at the middle of the hour.
Yes, we'll get
middle
off
of the
of-
hour. Coming up out of the middle of the hour.
All right, Mark, plug in your channel, sir.
Thank you,
and
thank you.
Welcome back.
Yep, I had a great trip to Italy, so I'll be doing some videos on that. And I was on with Clobberin Times, and I'll be on the Clubhouse on Thursday night, so I've been showing pictures. And we got to talk pizza, Nick, so the Italian pizza is pretty good. I'm building the Lego Batwing, which you can see to my left behind me, so I'm going to be doing a bunch of build videos on that. So 3D printing, building, toys, all that good stuff. So just appreciate being here. So catch me Thursday night, and sometimes late night gaming, and on the YouTubes here in different panels. But always look forward to Tuesday night, Toxic Tuesday. Have fun putting that slideshow together. So a lot of fun, and thanks for having me.
Hey, thank you, sir, and thank you for all that you do. I appreciate it, man, and I cannot wait to buy you so much pizza the day we cross paths.
That'd be awesome. Yep.
It's going to be huge. All right.
Huge.
Dustin, plug your plugs.
Keto Simple on YouTube, cooking, recipes, product reviews. We're dumb and funny and say dumb shit. And in the process of putting together the actual Baru Tile podcast. I've just put another teaser up on that channel. So YouTube /Barutile. I'm not sure when that first episode is going to come out. I haven't even recorded it yet, but I have the guests lined up and then working on other guests from here on out. So that'll be fun.
All right, you heard the man speak. Dustin, it's been real.
It's been fun.
And as Nelson Mutz likes to say, smell you later. Imperatus.
I want to say thanks again, Nick. It's always a great time being on one of your shows. Great panel, awesome chat. Nice meeting a bunch of people I haven't gotten a chance to meet yet, so that's also cool. Great movie. Coming up on my channel, I got a video that's being worked on by Mr. Grant Gregory. For all you anime mecha fans out there, going over the differences between super robots and real robots. And then sometime in the next week or two, I'm thinking about throwing up an album review for some good black metal from 2012, a band out of Utah called Caladan Brood, and their album Echoes of Battle. And with all the fantasy stuff being popular lately, I figured I'd get a couple of those types of albums reviewed because it's some really killer stuff. And other than that, you can find me every once in a while on Foul Balls Friday night show, the MF or Cocktail Lounge. Always fun over there, great people. And find me here quite frequently on Nick's channel. And other than that, you'll be seeing me around in other places, I'm sure.
All right, cool, dude. Well, thank you as always, my friend. Have a magical evening until our paths cross again. Matt, last but not least. You have a lot of you usually come with plugs, so
I have a few. As was mentioned, butt plugs, yeah, all kinds of plugs. As was mentioned, the MF for Cocktail Lounge every Friday night following up FNT, typically 8:30 to 9 Central. We do that, go about 4 hours. It's a fun show. Get into all kinds of topics. Talk about the woke stuff of the day. Sometimes we talk about the nature of God. Last week we talked about what was the largest animal you could take with a knife, and that was about an hour-long conversation. So that was super fun. If you can't wait that long, and I don't blame you, also have the Culture Crime Fighters tomorrow night, 6:30, with me and the mighty Vigilante Williamson.
Ooh, you're going back on nights?
Yes, because Vidge's work schedule has changed. Yeah, so we got that going on. So we're doing that 6:30 tomorrow. It's a fun show. I love doing that with Vidge. We always get into like whatever property is being destroyed that week, but then we kind of break off into different political topics, but it's always a really good time. Have some fun guests as well. We've had Chrissy Mayer, Robert Meyer Burnett, Gary from Nerdrotic's been there. I love that show. So come check that out tomorrow night at 6:30. So fun stream.
All right, you heard him. That is Matt. This is main Foulball Productions channel, and he also has a food channel, Foulball Food and Drink. I have watched every single video of it, so
thank you, Nick.
Proud to have that honor.
I was talking with Daniela just earlier, and we were re-upping our plans to come visit you in Chicago this summer or this spring. So hopefully me and you will make some food content.
I can't wait. It's going to be huge. It's going to be glorious. I can't wait. All right, guys. Once again, thank you. New faces, thank you. Come back next week for Caddyshack. This Friday for the comic book fans on the Comic Shop Talk. We'll be talking ASM number 13 through 16. Some notable debuts. A first appearance of Mysterio. First appearance of the Green Goblin. First appearance of Kraven the Hunter. And we'll have Andy Masterson joining us as well. So that's going to be badass as well. And of course, I yell at Park Cars every Monday night with Comics Division and the Dicks Division. And Thursday on Pulp Metallicus the First, we'll be talking the new Saxon album, Carpe Diem. And I got a few secret videos in the works for YouTube and some alt tech exclusives. So you're gonna see some variety packages going around. But thank you guys. Have a great evening. And thank you for choosing the toxicity of Toxic Tuesday. In the words of Nelson Mutz,